What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite wrestling podcast. It is the Monday Night Wave, and I go by your host, Jay, the babyface's favorite babyfaces, your mama's favorite babyface, the one and only. All right. And with that being said, I'm going to pass it off to my co-host, the one, the only, Mr. Heroic himself. Take it away from here.
I am the wild card. I am the king of gorgeous. I am Mr. Sexy Ass Lottery. I am Hero, and I am he. And Jacob Lone 2, I got a question for you. Oos.
Oos.
You know, I called you, no call back. Sent you a message, no text back. Message in a bottle, no. Email, no. It's been a really good week in wrestling, my bro, my oos, my dog.
My dog.
And my question is, what do you want to pod about, brother?
It is a great day to pod about wrestling. Great week from all aspects, all avenues of wrestling, man. It was a phenomenal fucking week in wrestling. Yeah. The stories are picking up. You can definitely tell it's summertime. Everybody's ramping up their energy for sure. Everybody's trying to come with that shit right now. And I love it. As a fan, I love it. It's fucking great. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into this pod. We talked about it last week or off air last week that we had a question for you guys. Mm-hmm. And for us, the question is top WWE betrayals.
Oh, was it just WWE? I mean, that's all the list I chose.
Oh, well,
I assumed you were going to choose some other stuff.
I went WWE. Okay. I went purely the E this time.
All right, well, that's fair. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I think it's fine because they have the most history. I definitely probably could find some AEW betrayals for sure. I mean, shit, there's one happening right now. I mean, Trent and Orange Cassidy.
Chris Statlander.
Chris and fucking Willow. Like, there's a couple.
Yeah, there is.
But yeah, I got WWE betrayals.
And note, betrayals doesn't necessarily mean heel turns because sometimes, depending on what's on your list, I have a two that it's a heel betraying a heel. Betrayals and turns they can be different. They can be differentiated.
They can. Mine's is a betrayal. Mine's is the ones that hurt my heart.
No, I feel it. And everyone, I made a couple, or I chose 7 just in case we had some repeats. But yeah, no, okay. all the ones I've chosen have been ever since I started rewatching. So pretty much the last 10 years are all the ones I've chosen.
And the thing is, we're probably going to have some repeats because these moments were fucking big. Mm-hmm. Maybe. We'll see. We typically don't have a lot, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. You go ahead. Go first.
Okay. So in saying that, because I only have one women's one, so I'm gonna choose this, and I'm gonna choose Sasha Banks betraying Bayley at Elimination Chamber, because that pissed me off. I mean, granted, it's everyone for themselves. It makes yes, but it was the way it happened. It was those two and Alexa Bliss, which it allowed Alexa to retain. That's what pisses me off the most is that it allowed Alexa to retain. But the cool part about it, and I wish this moment happened in today's era, just because the camera shot would have been better. But it gave you that Lion King. It was Scar and Mufasa. It was literally that's how they shot it, and it was super fucking good. And that was a moment where. That was the first time I was ever mad at Mercedes / Sasha. I was like, "You bitch," respectfully.
Yeah.
I was like, "Why would you do that to her?" It pissed me off.
We was rooting for you. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't have any women's one, but that is a good one. I do remember that.
I have no order. So I'm gonna do Finn betraying DIY when they were up against the Undisputed Era.
Is that the one he did the back kick?
Yeah, that sexy ass Pele kick, bro.
That shit so fucking dope, bro.
Didn't hurt my feelings.
The jacket.
Yeah, no, I was fucking with it. That's why it's one of my favorites because I was like, that was heat. I was like, that was
tight.
That's my prince right there. That's my prince, baby. I chose this one because Dominic betraying Rey Mysterio and Edge, kicking Edge in the balls and then kicking his dad in the balls.
That was big though. That was a big moment.
It was big, and it shifted us. It led us to the Dominic we have today. And if Rhea Ripley choked me out, I'd hit my dad in the dick too. So if you're listening to that, I'm sorry, but that's Rhea Ripley. So I mean,
it's fucking funny. Like, yo, look, Pops, you got to get it. Sorry.
After that, I'm going to choose. I feel like you might have this one. Well, I mean, I feel like it goes without saying. I feel like you got to do the Festival of Friendship. Kevin Owens betraying Chris Jericho, putting Jericho on the list after that crazy presentation that Jericho did all for Kevin Owens. It is still one of the better betrayals, I would say, in the modern era. It was super good. Even if it was predictable, even if he knew it was going to happen on that episode, the way that it was done was super masterful. Like both guys did amazing with that.
I've never seen it.
Oh, dude,
I gotta check it.
Festival, man.
I've never seen it. Festival of Friendship.
It is so good. It is so good. That's my favorite version of Chris Jericho. You're on the list.
The list, yeah, the list was a good one.
It was good. Because it was the show. It was right after Tom Brady beat the Atlanta Falcons in that Super Bowl, and Raw was here that next day, and Chris Jericho put Tom Brady on the list, and I was hyped. You know who else calls themselves the GOAT? After that,
that's good.
I'm going to choose Triple H betraying Seth Rollins, which led to KO getting the Universal title, which... Yeah, because it was really out of the blue. We still thought H and Seth were daddy son, sensei pupil, and yeah, that pedigree came out of super fucking left field, and then it led us to a great rivalry, which led us to WrestleMania. That match, that feud was great. They just had a Rivals episode on it the other week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and Seth Rollins, my boy, I love Triple H too. But yeah, it was left field because I was like, my boy's going to get that Universal title, and he did not. but Kevin did, and I like Kevin, and I enjoyed his...
Kevin was a good champion.
Yeah, I enjoyed his run. He had some bangers with Roman, and I forgot who else he fought, but him and Roman had some fucking bangers. And then
this is when he had like the red belt. Right?
Yeah, the red belt, and Chris Jericho was his henchman, they were buddies or whatever. And last one, Sami Zayn betraying the Bloodline. It was masterfully done.
That's the only one we share.
Okay,
that's that was that. Ugh.
It was as the kids, as we've been saying, it was cinema.
Absolutely.
It was cinema. it was done so well. So those are my favorite betrayals, at least the list that I came up with literally today. So
to just talk real quick about the Sammy one. It was like the chair shot, you saw it coming. And everybody's like, bro, just hit KO. Your friend, he not your friend right now. He with the Bloodline. He's against the Bloodline. XYZ. And once he hits run with the chair, and it's just the immediate like reaction from Jay. The whole, what are you doing? Like, why would you do this? And then the kick from Jimmy. Mm-hmm. And that was it. Like, and great pop. That was a Rumble too, right? That was Rumble.
Yeah, that was Rumble.
Yeah.
And then in the parallels of the way Roman fell and how it was pretty much similar, dead on to how he fell when Seth did it. Just masterful. Just masterful.
Which leads me to my number one, Seth Rollins betraying the Shield. Shield is by far the best faction to me in pro wrestling history. I think like you have no doubt 3 Hall of Famers who just took that gimmick and ran with it. It's almost like in hoop terms, like that young OKC where it's Harden, Russ, KD, where it's like too much potential. And once they all broke out and did their own thing, you can see the superstar in each one of them. all of them is, I believe, multiple WWE champions at one point in time. I know Dean got it once. I don't know if he got it twice in WWE.
He got it. He got it once. He got it once. He was a multi-time Intercontinental and a multi-time US.
All of them were WWE champions for sure.
Yeah.
So like just.
But even just like fucking. I mean, yeah, there was a point in time like when Dean became Moxley. Like there was a point in time all of them had. There was multiple times all of them had a championship, and it was maybe what was late last year that all three of them had like the main title.
They had gold. Exactly. Like
that's king
too
shit.
much star power.
Yeah, that's king shit. If I know, like,
great, like I said, greatest faction of all time in my personal opinion. The second one, which is ironically also tied to Shield, was Ambrose turning on Seth the night of Roman's announcement. So when Roman comes out and he tells people that he has leukemia, and like the out of nowhere, like what the fuck, he's just turning on Seth here. Yeah. And they were tag team champions at the time. Like it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, this is just terrible.
Yeah, it was super fucking left field, and I can see, and you can tell, like at that point, Mox was already checked out mentally. Like he's like, I'm ready to leave this shit for the most part, especially after the week after when he's made fun of Roman's cancer and shit, and he's like, I don't want to say this shit.
Nobody should say that shit.
No, especially about your real life, brother, for the most part.
Exactly.
Not blood, but your brother. It's just weird.
These last two, I'm digging back a little bit. First is Evolution against Randy.
Oh, yeah, good shit.
Randy getting the belt, just young champion, celebrating and whatnot. And the thumbs down, man. Thumbs down it was a big moment in WWE history. Like that was it was felt everywhere. It led us to the Randy that we got today for sure. But that was like, oh, Triple H, you on some hater shit. You really hating right now. Like let them rock. And then eventually that turns into Batista find out that Triple H is a hater. So it is what it is. And the last one is during the invasion, Stone Cold turns on Team WWF to join the alliance.
Oh man, that pissed me off as a kid.
The invasion arc of WWE is definitely my top 5 favorites. Just because at the time, once again, it's like seeing new talent you've never seen before, all these new names. Like you've heard about them, played them in video games, but you've never seen them in person. Or at least I haven't seen them in person.
Yeah, I didn't know, I played NWO Revenge and shit, but
exactly,
I didn't know who most. I
don't know who these guys is. I knew who Booker T was. Like that was is Booker. But to see Stone Cold, it was the Kurt Angle match against Booker, and as Kurt's going in for the kill, he comes in, stunners Kurt, makes Booker pin him, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? What is going on? You Stone Cold, you always been Team WWF. Like, what? You ain't supposed to be on the other side. And then we got fucking Stone Cold with the Alliance. Great, like I said, great segment. I love the Alliance angle. I love the invasion stuff. Like, that shit was fucking dope. I still go back and watch it today just because it gives me like that nostalgia of like, this was really fun to watch as a kid. But yeah, those were my betrayals. I feel like I definitely should have had a women's one in there, and I'm gonna have to do my research and find one because I know there's one for sure I can think of. And then we also got to give AEW some love too.
It's hard finding ones that aren't like super generic. Also, and that goes for the men too. But I feel like from the last like 9, since I've been watching. Again, it to me, I feel like most of the betrayals are just like a random, oh, you're a bitch. It's like, okay, right. like what's the, I mean, another cool one I guess would have been Damage Control and Bailey, but there's not that many really good ones, at least from what I can think of right now. I'm sure if I looked at a whole fucking glossary, I could find one, but. No.
Shit. Speaking of Damage Control, Dakota had one. At War Games, I thought.
Yes, against Tegan Nox.
And Tegan Nox.
I fucking had that. I meant to put that on my list.
That's a good one.
Because I was thinking about all this shit at work, and I'm like, fuck. That was one. Yeah, that was another good one, and because another one that came out of fucking left ass field, It put the babyface team at a crazy ass disadvantage, which they still end up winning. Because it's Rhea fucking Ripley, and then I think it was Candice LeRae with her. Crazy. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one. I watched that one recently, probably within like the last like year or so. Like that was a good one. Yeah, from here let's jump into the news, man. Let's see what we got here. What we got on the list?
All right, so I'll say, man, it's really like, what's the biggest thing? All right, let's start with something minor. So, according to Dave Meltzer, the owner of AAA has been or will be in talks with NXT for a possible, fucking Forbidden Door type shit, similar to collab. Yeah, what they're doing with TNA slash
crossover.
Yeah, crossover. There you go. Jesus. Yeah. So we don't know how. I mean, again, I will say it on every episode. Take anything Meltzer says with a grain of salt, especially in the year of 2024. But I can see it. I can totally see it happening because WWE, we talked about last week, they've been working with multiple different people. AAA, they're not new to the crossover game. They worked with AEW for like 2 years or so.
It's true.
I don't remember the last time that they worked with AEW. Well, I think it's ever since the CML thing because we talked about how they don't
work with.
So AAA is probably like, all right, well, we want to get some crossover appeal too. So which would be cool, because we could get even if it's NXT, we could get some Dragon League collabs, Rey Mysterio, Andrade, Santos, Zelina. Any of those would be cool.
Cool shit, they got it, and they got the talent to do it. And I would honestly like to see like non-Hispanic talent in AAA wrestling too.
That'd be cool.
I feel like the easy answer is to put in like Ray and LWO and Legado and stuff like that. But I want to see somebody else get in there. Let me see like KO.
Yeah, honestly, like Cedric Alexander, Ricochet would be or would have been, depending on what
could
happened.
Still be.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Chad Gable. I mean, fuck. I watched Chad Gable wrestle a bucket of water. I don't, so
yeah, that
Sami Zayn, because he has some lucha, he has a lucha past.
El Generico,
some shit like that. And then Braun Breaker, another man I'd watch wrestle anything. So.
Yeah, Braun and Triple A would be fucking nuts. No. Save him. Keep that man away from that.
No, bro. I want to see one of those luchadors do some Angelico shit where they jumping on the ropes 30 times, like back forth. They do fucking 30 combos off just that one rope into a spear. Nigga, you don't fire that.
I ain't gonna lie. The counters off the ropes have been like legit. We've seen a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
And I know Braun's probably gonna catch somebody with a spear. Oh, that'd be dope. I ain't gonna lie, that'd be dope. Actually, go ahead. Looks like AEW has announced that they will be debuting Dynamite and Collision, I believe, in Cardiff.
Yes.
So they're making their debuts in the UK as far as like TV shows, or their weekly programming.
Yeah,
which is good.
It's good. Yeah,
that means that it's. Business is building. That means that they had enough. I won't say leverage, but it had enough like stuff to like lock in some venues or some dates at up in Cardiff like that. I love UK or not UK. I love like the overseas talent and like not talent, but their fans. If there's one thing we know right now is that they are different.
Yes, and
they will show the fuck out.
In the UK wrestling scene, it's a hot market. They are very passionate, especially about. I mean, they're passionate about all sports, and especially wrestling. And we saw what Wembley did last year. We don't know. We don't know exactly what it's going to do this year. I mean, hopefully, it's something similar, if not better. But we talked about it off air. But them having two of their regular shows there is good because it exposed some of the other talent to. Exposes the fans, the audience to some of the talent that they might not see if they went to a Wembley. And they, all jokes aside, we know that, some of their shows haven't been getting the crowd that they want. And this is an opportunity to work in front of crowds that obviously you don't work in front of consistently or on a regular basis at all. So in my mind, hopefully those shows should be sold out, if not close to sold out, because they don't
they don't go there.
Yeah, they don't go there often, So
Yeah,
it's a smart move. It's a smart move.
I will say, if they come back from these UK shows and the numbers aren't what they're supposed to be, I would then do some deep soul searching here and try to figure out how we can turn this ship around. Not saying AEW's burning, because I don't think they're burning at all. I think you just go through lumps as a fucking business. That's just what happens. Nor am I one of the guys who also be like, oh, you guys only hit 0.5 on the TV rate. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't even know what the fuck that shit means. But the fact that it's sitting there it's people who have regular day jobs talking about TV ratings, fuck out of here. With that being said, though, if they don't get the fans, they have something to worry about. If they do get the fans, blow that shit up. Turn that shit all the way up. Give them the show that they deserve. Give them something that is going to make the people over in the US a little bit jealous. Because one thing we see is that especially as recently in the E, when the E goes and does these shows over overseas, the American crowd don't like it. They don't like feeling second fiddle, and they try to replicate it. It doesn't work.
Why are they singing so much? They don't shut up. These fans don't be quiet.
What is this chant? What's this chant? Cody Rhodes? What are they?
I'll take that shit over what chants any fucking day of the week.
Any day, bro. What chants are fucking dumb. Yes. So yeah, go over there. Show them how crowds are supposed to react, and maybe you might get that back over in the States. With AEW news as well, or no, not AEW news. We have
something that's slightly related to AEW. If we're going to piggyback, if we're going to segue still to AEW, during an episode of Grilling JR, with Conrad Thompson and good old JR, the commentator. I didn't listen to the episode. I haven't listened to their pod in a while. I used to when I drove for Amazon. It's a good pod because they break down all the old shows, and they literally talk about all the numbers, the seating, and what they talk about a lot of stuff. It's a formative podcast if you're a wrestling fan.
Never knew about it. I'm gonna check it out.
But so apparently Shane McMahon has contacted some of the AEW talent. It has been confirmed it wasn't Tony himself. It was mostly I guess ex-WWE talent, or just maybe talent just that friends. He knows. Friends, and essentially he's seeing what if I came through? What if I
how y'all feel about me?
Yeah. And it's all. Conrad and JR, they are reliable sources. To say the least.
Well, let's take everything with a grain of salt, people. Don't take anything as law. This is just being spoke about. We don't know.
But in saying all that, I guess my thoughts on it would be anything that could pop a rating that would be positive, I'm here for. But when I mean positive, I don't mean just let's hire more X talent or just hire more talent and then send our shots or whatever. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't think Shane McMahon at his age can bring anything to the table there that the hardcore fan base is going to find palatable.
You don't want to see Darby Allin versus Shane McMahon at Wrestle Dream? What you talking about?
I mean,
in a 6 ladder match, 6 ladders in the match.
Yeah, on Who Wants to Kill Him First match, I would watch it. Okay, who can out jump each other match? Let's jump off something dangerous. Whoever dies first loses. I would easily watch that. But yeah, I don't know. I just picturing the what we I don't know. I can't imagine it going over well. But then again, who knows? I like Shane McMahon. I'm a Shane McMahon fan, but I could already see some of the conspiracy theorists be like, he's trying to buy over the AEW so another McMahon can run. I could see the tin hat foils coming out already. So it's I don't know. I don't know if it would be a good thing or bad thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think people have they don't. There's nothing to merit off of Shane, or nothing that Shane has done to merit he would be, tampering, or he would be like authentic with AEW. From the most that I've read about Shane, he's been a solid individual. He's made questionable choices as far as like putting himself as the last 4 in the Rumble, which I thought that was fucking crazy. But as far as like, I haven't heard anything bad about Shane. I also have seen that like around the IWC that like his name is tarnished because of his dad. I'm like, you can't blame a man for his dad's fucking doings.
Yeah, just call him Shane on Mac. It's easy. What? He could just be called Shane.
See, the thing is, somebody, and I mean a certain MJF, would definitely throw a McMahon line at Shane's way if he saw Shane in AEW.
And Max Caster.
Max Caster?
He spoke about with McMahon like fucking 3 weeks ago.
I guess my thoughts on it is just if Shane was to go to AEW, I don't want to see him as a talent. I don't think they need him in that form or capacity.
Yeah,
I think they need him more so on the production, creative, booking side of it. And even then, it's like, do you cater to Shane in like, his WWE ways, or does like Shane bring in a new thought process that he wish he could have done in WWE? Another thing with this is also, why isn't Shane with the WWE? That should be the first question. Is that if Steph is back, she's around,
she doesn't have a
H
job.
is running it. Why isn't Shane there? Like, what did Shane do that makes it that bad?
Yeah,
why is Shane talking to AEW? Let's just start there.
Yeah, I have no idea. So this is me talking. This is me speculating, but I don't remember a time in the last 9 years to where he had like a role as like, oh, he's talent relations, or he's a market something like how Steph was. To my knowledge, he, like, ever since he came back in like, what was it, 2016 or 17 or whatever, to my knowledge, he's only been just talent. And since he was the son of the owner, I mean, who's to say that he had like a typical regular, talent type contract where he's on for 5 years or something. Like, the fact that they're not talking about like contract status, quote unquote, makes me feel like it was one of those things like, hey, son, you want to work for me for 8 months and we'll see what happens, type of thing. Maybe, I don't know. To my knowledge, though, he didn't have a role in the actual company to where he was part of HR or he was part of the business meetings or the board meetings.
Today, you could create a role for Shane. Like, I find it very hard that you don't want him around, even if it's not, like I said, if he's not a talent, he's just backstage. Like, it's just odd that he's not in that circle. That's if this is all real, right? Once again, I don't know, but if it is that he's reaching out to AEW, maybe it could also be Shane like, hey, I don't want to go back to WWE. I want to do something different. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Maybe you want to do something inside the wrestling business. But to jump to AEW and not talk to like TNA is also kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent about it. If you're what's the word I'm looking for? If your intentions are good and you just want to go over and like, let's turn this bitch up, cool. It also does feel the tribalism, though. I feel like, and the tinfoil hats are gonna love that shit too, because it's like, oh, we got a McMahon over here, or we don't want him over here. But it's like, bro, they all know each other. Like, the only people that probably don't know each other is probably Tony and fucking Shane. But as far as like former W talent, like he has Shivani over there. Well, I guess Shivani's WCW, but he has like JR over there. There's Jericho. There's a lot of people that are familiar with Shane. It would just be very interesting to see how they would do that.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't want him as a talent either. At least I would have him like an attraction talent, like maybe have him in a manager role or something, but also have him work behind the scenes. Because I do remember a time where he was in Gorilla with Vince, so maybe he does have experience. Because I don't know shit about Shane's history, so I'm assuming he has some experience with production to some degree, or whatever. So I wouldn't want him as like a constant on-screen character on a weekly basis, at least not in ring. He's good on the mic, but he's not like great. But if he's not wrestling and dancing the entire time, then I feel like he'd be fine. Because most of the time he's dancing and shit, and he just always sounds winded and like, so it makes his promo sound weird. But the best in the world, working at where the best wrestle, I think you could sell some tickets with that.
You could. You really could.
And him and Tony being like a fake tag team, like the Sons of Billionaires, that would be
oh my god, Billionaire Boys,
yeah,
Billionaire Boy Club.
Yeah.
If fantasy booking, not like I said, not using him as like an in-ring talent, but if you paired him next to Mercedes, you got the here comes the Monet with Shane and Mercedes. I think you might have some right there.
Yeah,
I think he talks better.
Yeah,
I think, and that's kind of like Mercedes' weak point is her promos and shit like that. But I think you might have something there.
Here comes the
take
Monet.
them to.
Man, yeah, I'm here for it.
They fucking.
I'm here for
they. You got to them in New Japan. Have them call shit. Yeah. If it happens, it would blow the roof off the wrestling world for a little bit. It would be fucking crazy. Next up, we got MVP make some comments on Instagram.
Yeah.
It seems that fans were asking him about the status of like the Hurt Business and when is it coming back, because it was a very popular group and people loved seeing the group. I love seeing the group. Hurt Business was fucking dope to me. Hurt Business one of the groups that I think was a little clipped at the wings, but shit happens.
It absolutely was. We can all agree on that.
What makes this newsworthy is that there's like a couple comments that he's left under like fans' questions. There's a comment saying, "Hey, can't believe Vince fucked this up." He says Triple H had the power to fix it. There is, why don't you guys go talk to Hunter, Nick, get the band back together? They said no. There is also the infamous quote from a Triple H promo: "Somebody like you doesn't get to be a world champion. Your job is to make people like me laugh." Triple H meant what he said.
And okay,
he's the 100.
I have a quote. I meant to look into that. I don't know where's that quote from.
So there's yeah, he did. It's an awful fucking promo, but there was a segment, I think like 2002, somewhere around the 2001, 2002. He's promoing against Booker. So Booker's supposed to get I think it's WrestleMania. I think Book and him was fighting at WrestleMania. And
that's when
he's in his Evolution bag.
In like 5 minutes or some shit like that.
He's in his Evolution bag. This is a handlebar Triple H, and he says, people like you don't get to win. You're just supposed to dance and entertain us and shit like that. It's an awful fucking promo. It's fucking foul. My thing with this is that I won't downplay how somebody feels, right? The man worked there. He's been around the block. He's been backstage. If that's how he feels, that's how he feels. However, it is very not alarming, but just interesting to say this while also being under contract. But then again, like, say what you want to say. Don't let anybody hold you down, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting that like I feel like So, in what you just said, that like since he's under contract, there's a part of me that makes it feel like it's a work, but I do think this is genuine. So I'm going to say that it's not. At least as of right now.
Semi-confirming that somebody might be racist or alluding to somebody might have feelings towards a black person as a work is fucking wild.
Yeah, and that's where my problem lies, because this is all wrestling community, because like if you're not getting booked the way that you want to be, or you're not being presented the way you want to be, that doesn't mean you should instantly slightly play the race card or the sex card or the sexual orientation card, just because like like you'll see people on Twitter right now saying, "Oh, are you guys ready to admit Triple H's booking is shit?" And it's mostly because their favorites aren't winning. And I see the same on the AEW side too, where it's like just because your favorites aren't winning doesn't mean everything is trash or the booking is bad or the writing. Like sometimes you got to let shit play out. Sometimes your favorites are going to fucking lose for a year. It's wrestling. It's a TV show. But alluding, yeah, like alluding to, like, because he used the word, or he alluded to the word emasculated was used, and it was used like, yeah, like this company loves emasculating black men. And then when I was talking to you in DT, I was like, I'm currently hard pressed to find, because the last time I can like slightly call a black man maybe being emasculated was maybe the Kofi Brock match, and that's well into the Vince McMahon era. As far as Triple H's booking goes, like, I mean, Carmelo Hayes just pinned Randy fucking Orton, you know, and he's only been on the main roster for like 2 months. There's not a lot of black single talent, so it's hard to be like, oh, they're not pushing yada yada. And I swear to God, Bobby Lashley is not the benchmark. Bobby Lashley is boring. There's a reason he's not getting pushed, but we could talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, it's just you can't just use the race. I don't know. You just can't like just. I get if you're unhappy, and again, I'm not trying to devalue his feelings or anything. We don't know anything as fans. All we see it is like just, you know, Instagram likes and comments or whatever. But you know, I don't know. It's a reach, and and it's not in this kind of landscape. It's like it's easy to gather fans on your side if you're like, oh, this person's being racist or this person is being anti-gay. Like, it's easy to, you know, get people on your side to do that, but it's like, are you doing it for the right reasons or the wrong reasons? And is it actually true? Is it actually just?
Okay, so the thing with like the word emasculate is that it means two different things. The definition of emasculating is like, you know, to deprive a man of like his role, right? Something that makes the man look weak, or something to like deprive him of his role or identity. The other definition of emasculate is also to make something or someone weaker or less effective. So in that sense of it, yes, black men in WWE do seem to be weaker. We don't get the shine that we should, even though you are in peak fucking physical form, right? I can bring up Apollo Crews, who's light years in better shape than most people, but he does not get over a lot, right?
No, his best character you hated, and it was because it was Nigerian. That's a different conversation. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry. He has a similar problem as Bobby, though. It's like he can't like. Look how they're pushing the black women, and at the same time, it's like I can't say, like, I'm looking at the way they pushing Jade, and they have been pushing Bianca the last few years, and it's hard to be like, oh, this company's racist just because some of the black men aren't winning. But like, there's not a lot of.
Even with that, like, you know, with Jade and Bianca, you know, we love them. It's maybe not necessarily like, you know, they're being emasculated either. It's more so like, you know, the way that their promos are cut, or like the way the things that they say is said a certain way. Like, you wouldn't have Liv say, honey. Like, that's just not something that you would do, you know? So I won't say that. I don't know. It's just weird. I'll just say this.
Okay, Bianca saying, like that's her. That's her adding to the writing so that it sounds more authentic.
I get that, but it's also like, does that help get the character over? Is that pivotal to like helping Bianca get over? Now, if that's what she's doing, great. I have nothing against that. But like, is that like necessary for the character to get over? And at this point, we also get off topic too. I have nothing against Bianca and what Jay do. They have their own flair. They're getting over. They're doing their thing. As far as like the men, like the black men, it's a little difficult. Ricochet is the best high flyer we've seen come in WWE in a really long time. We haven't seen a lot happen for him since him getting thrown through the fucking windshield, and like the tag team he had with Braun. Apollo Crews, physical fucking talent. Haven't seen a lot of it. Yes, Carmelo, because also Carmelo's popping in NXT. He was doing his shit, so I'm not taking anything from him either. But Bobby, you know, we've been asking for, the Bobby versus Brock. That was never going to happen anymore, but they had a window to do it, and they didn't do it.
I mean, there's also politics. Okay, well, before you get into Kof and Xavier are currently tag team, and they are smaller guys, but they can be elevated anytime they want to. But right now, that's not the story.
Right.
3 out of the 4 people that you also listed, though, are bad at promos. So why would they push them?
That also doesn't seem valid because we can also push, Shinsuke, who doesn't speak English, right?
He's never been a world title champion.
But he was, Royal Rumble winner, had a main event match for the WWE Championship. It's not like that. It's not like his English stopped him from getting to those points.
Bobby Lashley beat Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the world title.
It's true.
All his success though came when he was tied to MVP because he needs a mouthpiece because he is boring. He's like
we talked about it. We know Bobby can't talk. I will agree with you there.
And it's not me trying to like him as a human being, but his character, he's just a big black guy. He doesn't I don't want to get into, but yeah, Ricochet, like his biggest thing has been his promos. But he talks better than Bobby, and then with Apollo, yeah, it's his promos. His best character though.
And then what about like Cedric? Like Cedric was also fucking dope.
Cedric has not gotten an opportunity. Absolutely. He has not gotten for the longest time. Ever since the Hurt Business, Cedric has not gotten an opportunity.
But I think and
he's good on the mic.
And Cedric can talk. No, yeah, he's like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like emasculate doesn't mean like they're being deprived of like their black identity, black role. It's just more so like they're just not as effective. Like they're not booked properly. Like I think there's some truth to that. I want to go out and say this man's a racist, but I will say that like you don't use black people correctly, and that's fine.
And
it's just fine to understand that.
Yeah, no, and I can agree with that part, and I think that goes for honestly every company. I mean,
yes,
there's moments for sure in every company. There's moments. We got Swerve. There's Moose. There's Chris Babe. There's a lot of other people that get their moments and their shine with Swan. But yeah, like overall, I feel like it's one of those moments. It's one of those things where it's still a white man's business, or just and we're it takes a lot for us to get the shit. I mean, I don't know. My thing is, or I wouldn't say my thing is. It's just. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's tough because it's all through text, and we don't hear the context. Like we don't know MVP's tone when he's like agreeing to this or saying this shit.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing I was trying to convey was just that it reminds me of when people are like Black Hollywood. Why do they want a black man in a dress? And like when there's also countless other examples of white men in dresses. I don't know. It's just to me, it's a really weird argument.
I will believe that it would have to do with the direction of you after you wear the dress. So let's say if you wear the dress and you go and star in fucking the Titanic because that's what happened, and the black man wears the dress and he doesn't get seen anymore because he was wearing the dress and people can't take him seriously because he was a black man in the dress. It's a completely different line there. The opportunities are just different, I would just say that. And we know the opportunities are different throughout all wrestling promotions. Yeah. Hopefully with the H regime, we do see more black talent do get on the stage and show the fuck out, black men talent. At AEW, they do it. I won't give them too much credit, but we do see a lot with the Willow. They did give Jade the 50-0 run, so Jade had a fucking phenomenal run in AEW. Swerve is currently their world champion. I'm fed up with the Acclaim because I see the Acclaim too much, and they're everywhere. So Private Party, they do a better job, but maybe for AEW, a lot of them don't hit that. I can't even say hit that threshold because Acclaim was champions, Willow was just champion, Swerve was champion. It's just weird. I think maybe they slightly do a better job, but that's just my opinion currently right now, and it's also subject to change. I could probably change my mind tomorrow.
Yeah, it's all subjective because I definitely disagree with you, but again, that's subjective. So,
on a positive note, though, Black Wrestling Podcast does a great list of Black wrestling talent.
Yes.
50 of them. I believe it's from June to June, where they go over the year of Black wrestling talent. Shout out to Black Wrestling Podcast. They have a great fucking podcast. I've checked out a couple episodes. Top three. We'll talk about the top three. They have a great list of 50, but the top three on their list was Carmella Hayes.
Might as well just do the top 5 real quick.
Oh, you want to do top 5? We can do top 5.
You know, we did top 5 betrayals and shit.
You're right. We can do top 5 Black. It's fair.
If you just listed it in their names, it'll only take 2 more seconds.
This is true. Let's see. Let me pull up the list real quick. I do like the idea of like this list because there's a lot of people in here that I don't know, and they're in different promotions everywhere. There's some people that I do know. I did see Aminata in here, which was fucking dope because I love fucking Queen Aminata. She's a fucking phenomenal talent. Here we go. Perfect. So number 5 on this list here is Naomi. Comes hot in at number 5. Well deserved because Naomi had a phenomenal run in TNA.
Yep.
Once again, this is from June to June, so it doesn't count her WWE run. It does include it though. Naomi, top 5. I love it. Number 4, Trick Williams. Whoop that trick. Phenomenal fucking year. I
man.
Wholeheartedly agree. Trick Williams has aura. He's fucking it right now. I would assume that Trick Williams next year will probably somewhere around number 1, number 2. Number 3, Willow Nightingale.
Well deserved.
Absolutely. Yeah, Willow had a great fucking year too. Willow gets all the praise from me. You know that. Number 2 is Bianca Belair. Bianca is currently running shit.
EST.
She is the EST. And then number 1 is Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, I got nothing against Carmelo being at number 1. I don't think I would change this list at all. I think they nailed it pretty much on point here with this top 5. All of them had mad impact where they were at. And
all of them had a pretty much crazy last year. It's good. I've been paying attention to this list since I got into podcasting, like started listening to podcasting. I don't know how they do the parameters of like what they decide is like
what's the criteria.
But all their lists have always been good to me and well received and relatively accurate. So
and it just puts a lot of like Black talent. I'm going to like follow a couple of them just so I can keep in touch with like what they're doing.
That's how
some of them are indie.
Yeah, that's how I found out who Queen Aminata was like 2 years ago when they did the 2 years ago. I was like, oh, who the hell is this? And then I think I saw a video of her twerking in the ring or something. I was like, oh, who the hell is this? And then I saw like everything else. I was like, oh, who the hell is it? And then I followed her. And then 2 years later, she's in AEW. I was like, I know who she is. So
that's dope because you get familiar with the talent before like they blow up. Yeah, I love it, man. I shout out to Black Wrestling Pod, man. Like that's just it's dope to have like eyes on, the culture for sure.
Yeah.
With that being said, let's get into
last thing, and we can make this quick because it was announced yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was either yesterday or earlier today, but yeah, Kayla Braxton is saying that she is going to leave. Her last show is next week. Madison Square Garden. We send her our love and condolences. She had a great 8-year run. I have no complaints with her. My only hope is that she doesn't. Her next gig isn't like what Charlie did, and she starts grifting to the right wingers. That's my only hope. So, other than that,
I forgot about that. But you are right.
Man,
I forgot about that. Oh, man. That's crazy.
Went outside because I've not seen her name in a very long time. But yeah, shout out to you, Kayla. You did a great job. You are a talented, beautiful lady, and best endeavors to whatever you decide to choose next. So
yeah, shout out to Kayla, man. She no complaints, does her job really well. And even whatever she does is not tied to wrestling. I think she'll be great anywhere else. Like she wants to jump into the ESPN world. She's talking about sports analysis or casting or whatever the case may be. She has the voice for it. She has the professionalism.
Yes,
Go for it. Shoot for the stars.
And the look. Freaking
yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious of what she's going to do, because if it was sports, depending on the sport, for example, Jackie Redmond, who's on Raw, who's she's a new addition to this year. I don't remember when she came. I want to say it was maybe at the start of the year. But Jackie Redmond, she was doing some of the hockey playoff games. That's solid. Because I was watching. I'm a Dallas Stars fan, and I was watching some of the playoff games, and I was like, or my wife pointed, I was like, that fucking Jackie Redmond? Yeah, so she was again, Triple H or this new regime, they're allowing people to work, at other places and stuff. So I am curious to see what the next venture is, and how long she may be gone, if forever, or maybe it's a short lead. But either way, good luck to you.
8 years doing the wrestling run it's a lot.
Yeah,
for somebody who's not wrestling, that's a lot, bro. Like, it's a lot of traveling. You're committed just as much as the talent is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, let's get into Raw.
Let's get into Raw. We speculated on the news, and we had a lot of side tangents. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. The man himself makes his return, and it was glorious.
My man came back.
I stop this podcast right now. That's crazy.
I refuse to pause.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Hey, I was jubilated, baby. I was grinning ear to ear. Yeah, I was
gonna say something wild. I'm gonna hold that though.
I was gonna say something wild by myself, but yes, Seth freaking Rollins randomly showed back up to open the show, to bring us into Monday Night Rollins. And then
in the all white suit, looking like an alligator pimp, man. Like, he out there just dipped out with the all white heels. Came back, dripped out.
From the bayou. Fresh crawdads.
We don't need Skip today. We don't need Shannon today. All right, keep Shannon where he's at. All right.
But yeah, he comes back out. Essentially, he's teasing to join Money in the Bank, but Priest comes out, and Priest wants to prove that he's like, I respect you, whatever. And honestly, I wanted to cash in on you, but it didn't happen. But yeah, so they're gonna have a match. Damian Priest challenged Seth. And Seth was like, okay. And so we're going to get that in Money in the Bank. I'm as a stan, I am concerned on the quick recovery. I was not expecting to see him until maybe September or November. But, as long as he's feeling healthy and safe, shit. I mean, it's Seth freaking Rollins, so.
Yeah. Dope thing I liked about the promo was Priest issuing the challenge.
Yeah.
That was most champs like, okay, well, you got to climb the ladder and meet me there or whatever. But he was like, nah, fuck it. You ain't got to hit the ladder. Skip the line. But I want you. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm more concerned on who wins this match. Personally, I feel like Priest needs this one, similar to how Swerve may need this for Ospreay. This is the ones that bump up your stock. If you can knock out a big dog, this is going to do a lot for you. I think Priest knocking out Seth will do wonders for future endeavors when he runs into Seth again at some point. Maybe Seth's like, you got me one time, now it's time for me to get you back, and they have something. You can build a story off of that. Mm-hmm. On the opposite end of that, though, if Seth does win, Gunther versus Seth is going to blow the fucking roof off of SummerSlam.
I'd rather see that than Gunther versus Damian.
Fuck, that's tough.
If I had to choose about which match to see, I'd rather see Seth versus Gunther, because there's a crazy lot of story.
If Priest run ends here,
now
what do we make of it?
I mean, historically, Money in the Bank,
non-biasedly. Try to do this as non-biased as you possibly can.
Okay. All right, not non-biased. Historically, Money in the Bank winners typically don't hold the title that long. Besides Carmella and Io, I think Those are like the two longest reigning title wins after cashing in. So typically, Money in the Bank winners don't hold the title like super long. Granted, H likes having people hold the title long. If he was to lose, he defended against Drew. He defended against Jay Uso.
Jay.
And I don't know. And I guess, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad first run. Most people a typical saying is it's mostly more about the chase than after the capture, and also it depends on how he loses. Because if he does lose, I don't think it's going to be clean. I think it might be due to Judgment Day interference. At some point, this group is going to break up, and he is more than likely going to be the babyface. And we just kind of, I don't know. It's hard, but I agree with you that Damian could use this big win, even though he beat one of the two of the most over people already with Jay and Drew. And he beat Drew at Clash of the Castle in his hometown. So,
but Drew was also not clean.
It wasn't clean, but it's still a big ass. It's still a big win. He went into the enemy territory and he left. He went in champion and he left champion. And the only interference was that CM Punk part, which is still interference. It's still, there's still an asterisk. I'm not saying there's not an asterisk, but those are still two big ass wins, Jay and Drew. But I do agree with you that him knocking Seth off also makes him more credible. So then when he does go back to the championship eventually, then it's like, yeah, I mean, I beat Seth, I beat Drew, I beat Jay, I deserve to be in this, in this fucking top card. Yeah, it's it's hard. It's
if
hard.
Seth wins though, and then you carry over into SummerSlam, does Gunther lose? Either way, this is going to be a very short stint for whoever's the champion. You see what I'm saying? Would you rather have Priest carry to SummerSlam and lose to Gunther, or would you have Seth carry to SummerSlam, maybe wins the SummerSlam, but loses them the following 3 weeks after in fucking Berlin? So either way, it's going to be transitional champions for both two people, for the both superstars. I don't think that's logical. I don't think they would do something like that.
I mean,
I think you probably have Priest carry into Berlin. I think Gunther walks out on a rematch in Berlin. I think that's probably how I would play it.
Berlin is after SummerSlam, right? Or is it before?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's after.
Yeah, man. Whew, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's too early for me to decide. But to me, I do see both sides because again, I think Seth and Gunther is a better match, especially for a SummerSlam, which is one of the big four. But
we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know. Priest and Gunther could have a 5-star, 6-star banger.
And I mean, I think they highly could. I mean, Gunther doesn't miss, and Damian Priest is really good. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Priest has showed out these first 3 title defenses. He's definitely
So I'm not I'm not at all saying the match is going to be bad. I'm just saying if you're talking about what's going to
a good card,
a really good card, what's going to sell, just the storytelling you can do with a babyface Seth and a heel Gunther, because Damian Priest is still kind of in between right now. He's a heel one episode and he's a face the other, sort of. Eventually, I feel like he's going to lose this title, and it's going to be because somehow Judgment Day gets in the way. Maybe they betray on him, or maybe fucking Dominic or Finn gets the briefcase and they try to cash in. I don't know. I don't want to.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
It's gonna be good. This was a good challenge. It left us with a lot of questions, as you can see.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Chad trying to get him another title match. That doesn't happen. He has to go back to the back of the line. This sets up Chad versus Braun Strowman because he said he'll knock out anybody. Mm-hmm. And Pierce was like, okay, cool.
And
go out. You got a match right now.
Yeah, it was Strowman. And the match didn't last long, but it was really the end of the match that was the main part. And so Chad bullies his team again. And he's pushing. He throws Maxine's crutch out the ring. He pushes Tozawa, and both of those characters slightly are standing up for each other. But not really. And then Otis finally steps up and he pushes Chad, and they leave.
Is this the turning point though you wanted to see from Otis? Personally, no. I wanted you to knock the man out, lay him out, get physical kind of thing.
Yeah, I think they're trying to hold it off till SummerSlam. If I had to guess, they're trying to hold it off a little bit. So, I mean, shit. I mean, who's to say? Like, maybe, spoiler alert, because Chad dies at the end of this episode. Maybe next week Otis, maybe they come back and they're like, give us one more chance. We're sorry. And then they just prolong it a little later, but we are going to get the 1v1 at some point. Yeah, no, it's not what we talked about or predicted or fantasy booked, but the story is still really captivating. I feel like,
let's say hypothetically, Otis and Tozawa Maxine walked out. Chad fucking kayfabe dies.
Comes back to life,
and maybe he hasn't.
In less than 7 days, I might have.
Man, so he was cleared. Maybe he in that time while he was down and the people who watched or carried him to the hospital, took care of him in the hospital or whatever, was Creed brothers and Ivy.
Yeah,
maybe he's like, I got a new family. Maybe that's where you can kind of like tie in a new story with them, and that's how we get the introduction of Creed brothers. I don't know.
Yeah.
We then get a backstage segment about a recap of the stolen room key.
Mm-hmm.
Priest approaches Finn like, "Yo, man, I saw that shit on the camera. You doing some funny shit. Yo, what's up with that?" He's like, "Man, don't worry about it. I was throwing it away, trying to protect Dom. I'm trying to save the family. We don't need that distraction on the Judgment Day."
Which, to be fair, even though it is still sketch, to be fair, Finn has been the only person kind of trying to back Liv away from Dom. So you could argue it's true as of right now. It's still sketch. There's better ways to do it. The excuse is lame. Oh man, I was just trying to save the team. I just threw it away. It is what it is. Like, that's a lame ass excuse. But as far as what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks, Finn is the only one trying to stop. Well, he's not the only one, but he's the one that's been the most persistent of trying to. I don't want to say cock block. I'll say protect his brother. From this succubus.
We're gonna see. It's a little funny. It's looking a little funny in the light, man. We're gonna see.
Absolutely, it is. And I'm seeing a lot of crazy fan theories, and yeah, I'm really excited to see how this plans out, and hopefully, because
I've seen fan theories too, but a lot of them is y'all got too horny, bro. Like, relax, bro. They're not fucking on TV. Like, calm down.
Oh yeah, I wasn't talking about none of the horny ones. I was talking about like Finn and Liv are the real masterminds, and like they're just using Dominic to like manipulate. They're trying to manipulate Dominic, and eventually it'll all turn. There was another one where it's Dominic and Liv who are really the masterminds, and Dom's acting like he's playing hard to get, so that eventually he can take over Judgment Day and get into Money in the Bank or something. I don't know. There's some good ones and there's some bad ones, but yeah, it's just one of those things we gotta let play out.
It's true. Dom's promos have been a little like, man, I just don't know what happened. Has anybody seen they've been a little innocent.
Yeah.
And this is not the Dom that we know.
And most of the times, like when Judgment Day attacks somebody, he hasn't been there that much.
It's true.
Elbow injury or not.
Been finding replacements. He put in Carlito in his place. Like, a little interesting.
Well,
Dom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Carlito got to earn his keep. It took like 6 months for them to give JD a shirt. So, like, you just got here, bro.
Fair. We got our first eliminator match or qualifying match for the Money in the Bank spot for the women's.
Yep.
We have Io, Kiana, and Zelina.
Yeah, really good match, actually.
Yeah, they showed out. This was a good match for the women for sure.
Yeah, and the right person wins. And it seems like so Io wins. There was one cool spot where Zelina like 619's Io's legs, which like made her fall. That was a cool spot. But other than that, there wasn't like too many crazy spots. Io is the winner, and it seems like they're setting up a program with Liv and Zelina because Liv came out, which kind of distracted Zelina for Io to get the win or whatever. So yeah, but yeah, Io wins, so she has a chance to become a 2-time.
A very strong chance. Io, she's focused.
Mm-hmm.
She is focused right now. Molly not knock, but just question about the Liv Zelina is that we haven't had any build up for Zelina. And if they are going Liv versus Zelina at Money in the Bank for the title, it's like, where was the backstory for Zelina? Like, no, not backstory, but like, just to push something. Like, fuck, Money in the Bank is within what, like 2 weeks, I believe. I think it's like beginning of July.
Yeah,
so the 6th of July. So like we're very like close to the pay per view.
Well,
it's just a very interesting and fast track title match if it does happen at Money in the Bank.
I think it's going to happen. I don't know if it'll be at Money in the Bank, but I think it's going to happen. And okay. I mean, it's not the craziest like push, but at the same time, it's not out of nowhere because they have been interacting as characters the last couple of weeks. Like there's when Zelina pushed Liv, and that's when she was straddling Dom in the cowgirl position and shit like that. Like these characters have been interacting, so it's not fully out of left field, but it could be a better storyline, yes. Other than like, oh, this bitch just keeps coming in my business, and it's both of them saying that. Like Liv said, "Stay out my business," and Zelina said, "Stay out my business," and they both essentially distracted each other for dumb reasons. So yeah, there's a better way to push a feud, but it's also not out of nowhere. So the match is going to happen. Just don't know if it's going to be at Money in the Bank, but I would assume one of those women titles get defended. So, and it doesn't look like Bayley is going to be in a program right now, so I would assume Liv and Zelina fight out Money in the Bank.
Yeah. We get a Braun Breaker promo. Looks like he's eyeing Sammy's for the IC or Sammy's IC belt. That gets cut short by Sheamus, which sets up a match for them later on that night. My question is, how do you feel about Braun being? I guess this is the fast track. Braun is in the IC title picture immediately. How do you feel about that? I know we're fans of Braun. We're also fans of Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see this going?
Okay, so well, to answer the question, let's wait. Is the match right after that, or is there something else before?
No, it's not right after.
Okay, yeah,
No.
Damn. Okay, you're right. All right. So, spoiler: it looks like we might get a fatal 4-way, which I'm fine with if that happens. As far as Braun being in the mid card, I'm also fine with it because him being IC title champion, if he was to win, or maybe Sammy is his first loss to like slightly humble him, I'm fine with either story. If I was Braun, I would be upset though. If we're keeping kayfabe, I'd be upset that I wasn't in one of the qualifiers. I feel like after like his whole anger is not being part of King of the Ring, but it seems like he set his sights on an actual goal. So you could argue that's why. And what was my last little bit? Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I think it's fine because you can't book all these new people the same. Like you notice how how they did Tiffany versus how they're doing Blair Davenport versus how they're doing Kiana versus how they're doing Carmelo, Ilya, and Braun. Like you can't book all these guys the same. Like Braun's the unbeaten psychopath. Ilya is super intense. He's lost a couple, but he can put on some fucking stellar ass matches. Carmelo's the cocky dude who's won some big matches, lost some big matches, but he's here. Keanu James finally shown like so. Yeah, you can't book everyone the same, so I'm fine with it. To answer the question, in short, I am fine with it.
I agree. I'm right there with you. I think they see what Braun is. They see that the fans are fucking going nuts for him. He's not Jey Uso over, but he is definitely getting up there. I think out of the young core that came out of NXT, he's definitely the one that's popping right now. Like, yeah, get him out there. Let him show him off. He's definitely deserving of the mid card area. And
to piggyback off what you just said / what I just said, what's cool is like if you think about Ilya, Carmelo, and Braun, they're all over in their own way. I don't like damn near equally over. Like they're all getting pops. They're all getting cool spots. Yeah, I mean, this is if you're getting called up, like compared to like some other previous call ups, this is how I'd want to be called up. Like all three of them are on the show almost weekly, you know, all sorts of shit. So
they're definitely getting TV time. Nobody's in like no BS like angles or gimmicks or nothing like that. You're not coming out and your name's changed. Like your character has stayed the same for the most part. You're just being elevated.
yeah,
I think they're doing a really good job with that. Definitely doing a really good job. We can also add in Lyra too, because Lyra's also
Lyra, yep,
popping too.
Yeah.
We get a weird, not a weird. We get a very interesting package. Pause. With Punk and Jessica Carr later on during the night, and she loaned Punk a shirt.
Oh yeah, so yeah,
referee shirt.
Yeah. So it was a clip of how Punk got the referee shirt for Clash of the Castle, which was fine. I could have done without it.
I don't know about you, but if an employee steals, a shirt of a ref and goes out there and just takes the show into his own hands, doesn't that person deserve to be fired? Shouldn't you reprimand that person?
Definitely should be fined. Absolutely. He definitely should have been fined.
Absolutely.
I mean,
what do you mean? You telling me?
I mean,
you're gonna. What do they call it? He went to work for himself.
Yeah, he went into business for himself. You know,
went into business for himself. Yeah, no business being out there. It's funny. I like the added context. I could have done without it. It wasn't like super like important, but it was just very interesting. Like, hey, you got a shirt? Why would you give this man a shirt? You know damn well he's about to do sabotage, screw a man in front of his family. That sounds wild. But we then also get the Braun Sheamus match.
Yeah.
Later on, and
which was a banger, no pun intended.
Yeah. No, it's like Sheamus don't miss either, bro. Like Sheamus, he's good.
Yeah.
You pair him with anybody, he's gonna have a fucking banger match. Like immediately. You know this.
I will note though, Braun Breaker, when he came out, okay, so one of the reasons I feel like what would get him over even more is if they changed his song. Even though it is growing on me, it's still ass. His original song was better, but wasn't the greatest either. If they changed the song, I feel like he'd be even more over. But you know, the crowd, everyone's barking and stuff, which is cool. But I did note he came out damn near the same color as me, and this is I'm saying this as a concerning fan, bruh. Stop, like, please tan healthily, bruh. I don't want you getting skin cancer, bro. I don't want you looking like Hulk Hogan. I need you to be very lenient on the spray in the booths. And I'm saying this as nicely as possible because I know you can kill me. I know this. I want no smoke.
Oh, fuck, bro. That's funny. He do be tan as fuck, bro. Like it's wild because like he be missing spots. He be pale under the arms. It's like, bro, you got to make it even or something. Like,
man,
it don't even look believable anymore.
Yeah, there's some days he looks like he's half Puerto Rican, and there's other days where he's like, you would have thought Steiner was black. Like, what's going on?
Santos Escabron.
That's good. That's good. And I thought I was the comedian on the show.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, man, he could definitely relax a little bit on the tanner for sure. They have a banger match. We get some interference by Kaiser, which Ludwig is.
He is showing out, man. He is showing out.
Yes.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. He's going to be a player for sure in the next 5 years. He's going to be one of those players.
Shit, it might be sooner, man. Like Ludwig he's in. You can see that once you give him the ball, like give him the opportunity to show out. Like he's like, yo, I'm ready. Like I've been ready. Let's just make the most out of it.
Yeah.
This match also had the dope Braun spear spot where Yep,
Man.
where he's like running around the.
Yeah, so Ludwig tries to do the same thing he did to Kofi and Vinci, where they're set up on the stairs and he runs all the way around. And then so he runs one way and Braun runs the other, and we get a crazy ass spear. Like
that shit was so dope.
Bird's eye
that
view look, clean. Man. It was these camera shots are fire, man.
They are. They're definitely more action oriented, like because the VCam era you definitely had like 16 fucking camera cuts. But just to see them both split and sprint at the same time, we get this aerial view of it. Solid. Yeah, love the production so far, man.
It was really good. But it seems like they might set up 4-way. We'll see. I wouldn't be mad at it.
I'm down, bro. Fatal 4-way is good.
Gets more people, gets more people on the team or on the screen, whatever segments,
and do that.
And then we could get a tag team, a will they, won't they? We get Sheamus and Sammy versus Ludwig and Braun. It's easy booking. It writes itself. Honestly, we probably will get that next week. Probably.
You're not far off. I would agree with you. We get a Dom segment.
Yeah,
in the back. This man's looking for his.
Oh shit! Real quick, bro. We didn't talk about it, but Drew McIntyre quits the show. He quits the company.
Shit. You're right.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I mean, it was really quick. Yeah, he pretty much quits. He walks out to the ring. He says he quits. Essentially, he walks back. It's one camera shot. You have Pierce and Triple H like trying to talk him out of it. He's like, "I gotta go," blah blah blah, and essentially he leaves. But spoiler.
I ain't gonna lie, nigga stole a shirt and ruined my match. I quit too. I was this close to being chained from my family. This motherfucker was going to business for himself. Who do you think he is, Hangman?
He brought it on. That's good. That's good. Hit me back to back. Man, Loner Graham here. Back to back. Yeah. Shit.
Oh shit. Yeah. He did quit. He said he was done. He was talking to H in the back, and he was like, "I just can't, man. I'm out of here." Pierce tries to or goes to chase after him. He tells Hunter like, "Hey, I'm gonna go check on him." So at this moment, Drew definitely quit and he walked away. Yeah, but Dom is looking for his vest. He's lost his Cal vest. He's been asking people about this Cal vest. Honestly, the Cal vest is atrocious and should be thrown away. But you know what? It's his style. That's how he identifies. This is his gear. Whatever. We then find the Cal vest on one Liv Morgan,
which
tied up.
She was already wearing it. Like, so yes, at this point, Dom should have knew Liv had it.
That she had it.
Instead of asking where's his vest, ask where Liv is. But
during the Zelina match, he popped out in the same vest. Yeah. So yes, you saw who had your goddamn vest.
Right. Maybe he didn't. I guess you could argue he wasn't watching the women's match. You could argue that, I suppose.
He then runs to Liv, and she's like, "If you want it, you gotta like unzip it off me." And as he's pulling the zipper down, we catch one Damian Priest in the back. Hey man, what the hell are you doing over here? Yo, freak! He a fan. Get your freak ass out of here, man.
Yeah.
And he looks at Liv and says, "Hey, enough! Like, leave the man alone. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want nothing to do with you. Like, leave him alone."
Yeah. And then she was like, "I'm about to hawk two on that thing." You know what I'm saying? About to. We're topical. We're up to date.
That's fucking funny, bro.
Spit
That's
on hilarious. That thing, you feel me? Which, I mean, she did use that clip to send a message to Dom today. Liv is wildin'.
Yeah. Definitely having a lot of fun on social media. You can definitely tell that the superstars themselves run their social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we get that, and it's Priest is now looking at Dom kind of crazy. He's looking at Finn kind of crazy, looking like you can't really trust anybody in Judgment Day.
No, man.
I mean, even JD a couple weeks back, JD was like, "Yo, man, I'm bigger than what y'all trying to make me out to be." Everybody's kind of had their moments where they looking at everybody like kind of funny right now.
Yeah,
or looking at Priest kind of funny.
Yeah, it's mostly Priest, and also it's like it's. Yeah, man, it's yeah. I'm liking it. It is compelling, and I cannot wait to see what direction they go. But yeah,
Yeah, they're definitely cooking. It's a slow
it's
burn story. Well, not slow burn, but it's a medium burn story right now. Like they're giving us bits and pieces. We're definitely gonna get some shit happen in the next couple weeks for sure.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be at Money in the Bank, but we will see. But yeah, something's going to happen. So
Main event. This was another qualifier for the Money in the Bank match. Rey Mysterio, Jey Uso versus Finn Balor. Where it's like you just say Win Balor,
yeah,
but that can also be WIN and also WHEN. So Win Balor. When was he that guy?
he's always been that guy, nigga. Prince Devitt, Prince Balor. Bro, you better put some respect on the demon, baby.
The demon is dope. We ain't seen the demon in a minute.
The creator of the Bullet Club. Man, put them guns up. But yeah, good match. It was pretty obvious who was going to win. I was hoping for Finn, and hopefully maybe Finn can maybe they'll do. Hopefully they do like a winners or losers bracket.
I mean, shit, they put the man on the goddamn poster.
Yeah.
How in the fuck is he not going to win? This was foreshadowed before Raw even started.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the poster for Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is yeet.
Wait,
like, what?
That's the official poster?
Knew. I thought it was. Was it not the official poster? I thought I saw
I have no idea. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I didn't know if that was official.
Oh, shit. Maybe it's not. It looked official as fuck. That's a great fucking Photoshop if it wasn't.
Because you'd think they put a Canadian star since it's being in Toronto. And by the way, speaking of Money in the Bank, I like the graphics that they're doing. It reminds you of like Spy versus Spy or like some Ocean's 11 type shit.
Yeah, fucking Spy Family. It's just a very like old school, like nostalgia, like
Lupin
Monopoly kind of like
yeah.
I do love this theme for Money in the Bank. This is probably my favorite theme this year. Like this is dope.
Well, yeah, because actually, like, I feel like they actually like put thought into it. Usually, it's just money falling down and money sounds, and it's like, okay,
it's like no, it's Money in the Bank. This is like you're stealing Money in the Bank. It's a heist. I love it. Yeah. It's fucking Ocean's 11.
But yeah, okay, yeah. Jay wins. He pins Finn, and then he pins Finn right after Finn gave a sexy ass coup de grace to Rey. And then, Jay wins, and he goes to the crowd. He's hyping up the crowd, and then boom! Now we finally get the debut of the Wyatt Six because the lights start going out. You hear the classic Fiend, and then crazy ass, spooky ass, long ass entrance. Everyone in Gorilla appeared to be dead. It looked like Chad Gable had a bullet hole in his head. It looked like Gunther was one of the bodies. That's surprising. You got to sneak up on him. Yeah, and it looked like I can't remember his fucking name. He's not in the company anymore. Nikki Cross's husband. It looked like he was there. I'm not. I mean, but it was all dark, so it's hard to tell. But
I think they came out and confirmed that the people during that segment were all extras, with the exception of Gable.
Right. Okay. So yeah, then that was definitely her husband then, because I can't remember his name, Big Damo, but that wasn't his wrestling name. But yeah. So yeah, Wyatt Six debuts, which is Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, blah 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 blah, Eric Redbeard. So yeah, Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, and Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, which I think is only 5 people. So I feel like Alexa
only 5 right now.
So I think Alexa Bliss is coming. Which my biggest gripe, or I wouldn't say my biggest gripe. The only nitpick I had was like, I feel like there should be 2 girls, just in case they do like a women tag spinoff, or so that there's not. Yeah, fucking 6 dudes and 1 chick. I hate give me a Power Rangers level where
I got it.
2 women,
3 men, 2 women,
at least something like that. If not the opposite, but yeah. So, what did you think about the debut?
This segment was extremely emotional for me because I love Bray Wyatt. Like the Fiend was that was it for me. I didn't watch the Bray Wyatt doc because I just can't sit through it because like the dude was just so great. So to see them actually debut, loved it. I loved every fucking morsel of this shit, bro. It was so fucking tight to me to see Nikki Cross come out crawling on the ground with the crazy looking mask, and then she just points to the back, and you go to the back, and it's just fucking chaos. It's like, oh shit, they are bodying people back here. One of the dope things I saw with Eric Rowan was he came with the bludgeoning hammer from him in the Bludgeoning Brothers with Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee. I think Joe Gacy's dope. I think the last match I saw of him was against Dijak, I believe,
which is one of his best,
and they had
better matches.
Yeah, they had a great fucking match. So I'm excited to see what Joe Gacy does. Plus, in Schism, I was paying attention to Schism. Yeah, I think they're gonna do. I think they got the right idea. This was the way to debut the spooky team without doing the supernatural shit.
I mean,
it wasn't like really supernatural.
Yeah,
it was
to me, it's supernatural as fuck. But it's not like, it's not teleporting.
Yeah,
or,
there wasn't no black mist or poison. It was just we just killed everybody.
Yeah,
everybody dead. And now like everybody's on the lookout. Everybody's like, okay, we got to bump in security because we think the fucking Wyatt family's about to be here. Like people are scared. And I love that. I think the only thing I would ask of WWE or whoever's creating, like who's in charge of creative, protect the characters. Like, I don't want them to be anything weird. Like, I don't just protect it, even if it means that we got little to no exposure. Protect the characters of like this, because that's pinnacle right there. Like, I don't want to see them break up off of something weird. I don't know. I just want this to be carried out in like a fulfilled story, similar to what Bray was trying to do. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So
I loved it though.
Yeah, my thoughts. As soon as it was over, I turned to my wife and I was like, "That shit was heat. It was fire. It was a perfect debut." I agree with. Yeah. So my thing is it's protected characters, but it's not just them. It's all the characters, because you have to like. So the thing I super liked is what you just said, where it's like, it doesn't feel like these characters, like how the Fiend existed, but he really only existed with whoever Bray was beefing with. So it felt like, just like when Cody was in AEW, like we had the Cody verse, where everything he did felt like way opposite than everything else that was going on in that, and like, so it doesn't feel like they're in their own separate spinoff universe. It feels like everyone in the company, all the talent, male, female, like, oh, there's some crazy people here. Like everyone acknowledges this threat. So the characters are essentially touching everyone, which I like. So what I mean by protected characters, and it's I said the same thing when we talked about Fiend multiple times. I said similar stuff when we talked about Tony time. It's because these characters are cool. They're cool as shit. And they're going to be over as fuck until they do something really stupid. They're going to be over as fuck, and you have to book them in a way to where it doesn't make them look stupid. But you can't have another moment where like Seth is screaming like a bitch in the corner in Hell in a Cell. Otherwise, because you will kill other characters. You will. Yes. And like so the best. So in my mind, at least as of right now, the best way to do it is, they should not be on weekly, and if they are, they should maybe do videos or something. But even then, I wouldn't have them on weekly. And then I
don't need a promo. I don't need them coming out talking on the mic. I don't.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing I was going to get to. I need to know. I don't want them to chase any titles. They need to stay the fuck away from titles. No. But at the same time, I want to know what the fuck their ambitions are. Like, because I didn't go to any of those QR codes. So it's like, okay, you guys, and it's the same shit I've been saying about Final Testament. Okay, cool. You guys are a spooky gang. That's great. What is your goals? What is your ambitions? What the fuck are you here for? If you're here to just kill people,
what is your list of demands?
If you're here to if you're here to just like, hey, I'm all I want to do is see the world burn. You'll see me on a weekly to bi-weekly basis, and I will kill somebody. That's fine. Communicate that, and I'll love it. But
so let me spin some to you.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me spin something. So what I think is that they are the Wyatt Six, right? Which is the Wyatt family. Um, I think that they are going to target people who broke away from their families. I think all the people who betrayed their families, which is kind of ironic because the theme of this episode is betrayal, or title was, or the question. I think you look at Chad, you betrayed your family, you turned your back on them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a coincidence that they did this before or after Jey Usos. I don't think it's a coincidence in two parts. One, Jay left the bloodline, turned his back on his family. Also,
but his was for a positive
Jay,
reason. But they can still spin it. They can still spin it.
you
Anyway,
can still spin it.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Jay also, and this is me looking at things in a very imaginative way. I would say summoned them. He has the Fireflies, right?
He did.
Jay coming out every month, every fucking time he comes out.
Since Backlash.
He's G with the Fireflies since Backlash. So you called us out here. We are summoned. We don't like what you're doing. We might have to take you out.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that family theory, because apparently there was like a CG in one of the QR codes or whatever, so it seemed like they were targeting Chad. So I could see that storyline, and then that means they can split off on Seth because Seth betrayed the Shield. Like, there's a lot of characters.
You have a lot.
I mean, it's wrestling. Everyone's betrayed someone at some point, unless you're unless you're Bianca or John Cena.
Across both shows,
yeah.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. I want it to be. I'm down for it to be spooky, but also I need it to be grounded because that was if you watch the documentary, that was one of the things. I think it was Triple H I want to say it was Triple H. He was like, all Bray's ideas are fucking great, but how do you ring it in and make it make sense?
How do you translate it?
Yeah, translate it so it makes sense on TV. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Are you a Ghostbusters fan?
I've seen Ghostbusters.
Okay, well, the first script for Ghostbusters was called Ghost Smashers, and there was a lot more crazy ass shit in there. There was a lot more ghost thing, paranormal stuff, and they had to dumb it down to where it made sense, and then we got the hit movie that we got. So it's just we can have all the crazy ideas you want, but how do you translate it to TV and make it make sense? And then again, you got to protect the characters, not only those characters, but the characters that they face, because again, you cannot have that Seth shit in Hell in a Cell, because it killed him for 2.5 fucking years. You cannot have that.
I do agree. I think Triple H will have a better handle on it. We do know Vince was definitely out of touch with a lot of shit. Even so, we're not going to talk about Vince, but yes, Vince was out of touch with shit. Hopefully we get a little bit more grounded situation with Triple H. I think he's going to be able to handle that, at least him and the other creative team behind him, other producers and writers. I think they got it. Yeah. It's going to be pretty solid. But you are right. This has to be grounded. This has to be focused a little bit more. They have to let us know what their intentions are, and then we can go from there. If they come out one week and say we want to take out Chad Gable because of this, cool. We'd actually know what they're targeting. Any chance that the 6 members not Alexa? If it wasn't Alexa, are you upset? Are we how sold are we on the idea that Alexis has to be the 6th member?
To me, okay, I don't want to say it has to be, because it's TV. You can make anything make sense as long as it's if you make it make sense, it will make sense. It doesn't have to be, but it makes the utmost most sense as far as because obviously she was paired with Bray for a year and a half or so, and she even had powers and she had the doll and whatnot, so it makes the most sense. The only other person, and God, because I'm trying to think anyone who had ties with Bray, so the only other person would be Braun Strowman, Matt Hardy, God forbid, or Daniel Bryan, he's in a different company. So it's to me, Alexa or Braun are the only two that make the legitimate most sense, because Brody's gone, and Daniel's at a different company, and the Wyatt family, to my knowledge, hasn't had that many other crazy ties to anybody. If they wanted to choose someone super random, that's cool too. But if we're talking about what makes sense, it's either Braun or Alexa. And I think it
And I
should.
think that it would have to be somebody that they definitely want to respect Bray with.
Yeah.
They won't throw anybody random. So you probably are. We're probably right to where it's going to be Alexis. They might also take out Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Like, Braun, you were also part of the family too.
And to me, like, even though Bo is actually pretty good on the mic, if you had Alexa, she would be the best talker easily. So
for sure, especially if she's able to talk and not do the spooky shit. Like, we're good.
Which it seems
we
like
don't need this the mind control angle where you just sit in the ring and you make that was kind of weird.
Yeah,
like,
it seems like Nikki's going to be the super weird one, and then that means Alexa could probably. I would assume. For me, my money is you choose Alexa, you make her the mouthpiece, you make her and Howdy equally the mouthpiece.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break, people, and then we get back. We're gonna talk about AEW Dynamite. We'll be right back. And we are back, people. Dynamite started off with a bang. We have MJF versus Roosh. Hard-hitting match. I think this is the first match for MJF that since he's came back.
It is.
To be honest, I expected a little bit more. It was a long match, and there was no commercial breaks in it, which is also kind of funny, or not funny, but just interesting that they didn't run any commercials or no pictures or nothing.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 30 minutes it was supposed to be 30-minute match, free of commercial, even though the match was only like 21, 22 minutes. I don't clock matches. This is me looking at someone else posting the fact, because I think it's weird that people time matches. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, still a pretty solid match. As far as like the angles where they're going, I don't think there is anything to go off of here for MJF and Roosh. I think this is like a one-off thing. I don't think it's as invested as I thought it was going to be.
No, because after this match, he finds out who's fighting at Forbidden Door, correct?
Exactly. And like he runs it to Hechicero, which is going to be a good match because Hechicero is fucking great. It was just interesting that this also wasn't on Forbidden Door. And I know there's some politics between Roosh and other promotions. I don't know per se, but I just know that like I've heard that they can't intermingle. We talked about it before with like AAA and CMLL and shit like that, but there's something different here. Overall, solid match. It's good for what it is. I'm glad we're getting MJF versus Hechicero. Yeah. From there, though, we do get the first or second Swerve and Will promo. This was dope. This was a good promo. I thought it was, at least. I don't know how you feel about it, but I thought this was a dope promo. I thought there was shots from both of them. Will said something very interesting about how he doesn't need the Don Callis family. Like, I can do it without them. Like, I don't need them behind me to do interference or whatever.
Which they had an interesting reaction to that. And if I'm not mistaken, it was either last week or the week before, I said it might be them as the reason to why Will loses this match. Unless they make Will win. But as you said, as we talked about earlier, Swerve should win this match. It would hurt him more if he lost, as opposed to like if Will lost, Will will be fine.
I think we probably can lean on the side that there might be some outside interference.
I think
Callis has been very calculated. Yeah.
He's still heel, and Will is literally the only babyface in that group. So it's weird that they're even still together.
It's true. But, they've been looking for a way to get him out. I think this is the perfect place to get him out. Also, Kyle Fletcher's also been like in between of like, man, I trust Will. I don't really trust the Callis family. So they might end up losing Kyle too. There was a good bar in here that also had a very weird after effect.
Weird is not tasteless.
Tasteless for sure. He says, while you had a hit row, I had a hit list. In promo, loved it. I thought the way that was delivered, how he said it, dope.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Getting the shirt printed afterwards, though, Swerve on the shirt with the crosshairs on his head. Didn't need that, especially when it was a Will Ospreay shirt that says "Hit List."
It says Will. Yeah,
Tasteless
it says Will Ospreay. It has
spray.
has a big ass raccoon head ass thing on the shirt with the damn crosshair on it. This is probably like my fifth time defending. This is not even okay. I'm not even defending Swerve. This is
you sound like a Swerve fan. Whose house?
Man, Soraya. Yeah, I don't want us to talk about this too much, but we should talk about it for a hot second. At the end of the day, it's tasteless, it's stupid, it's tacky.
It's wild.
It's not their first egregious shirt. Like, you know, they had the Brit Breaker with the black eye in the face.
Yeah, and I like the Brit Breaker one because of like the match. Because I'm a wrestling fan, but wearing that shirt out in public is just wild. And we talked about that before.
Yeah, there's zero context.
Yeah.
Like,
no context.
There's zero context to this too. Like, I feel like
there is.
Like, yeah, no, I feel like if a white boy wore that shirt in a black neighborhood, it probably would not go well.
No,
or let's just say a black school. You know, if a white kid wore that at Jefferson High School, I don't think he would make it out of school untouched. You know, so it's just, and you know, like this was 3 days after their Juneteenth episode or whatever. Or no, Juneteenth was on the 19th.
This was a Juneteenth episode.
Yeah, so this is but the shirt came out today. So, Juneteenth was like, but even if you ignored the Juneteenth part, it's just in today's climate. Just ever since 2016, it's just not a good idea.
It's not.
I saw it might have been. I think it was Cyrus from the War Report, but he was like, it would have made more sense if you just had all the titles on there and it said like hit list or something. Like,
yeah,
you know, like there was other ways to the bar. Like,
even
the
if
promo
it was like
good. The bar, it was a good ass bar. It made sense. Like, it was
great
good.
Bar,
but dude, it's just not.
Even
not a
if
cool
it was
shirt.
like a silhouette. Let's say it was a silhouette of like Swerve doing the kill shot. And it was like, oh, hit list. That way you can look at the silhouette and it doesn't have a black man's face on it with a crosshair or some shit like that. It's still like that in itself. Just his face, crosshair, hit list, very fucking weird. You could have done anything else besides that.
I mean, for me, on some CM Punk shit, like even though what he said wasn't entirely true, but I'm not putting somebody else on my shirt. I'm not putting another man's face on my shirt. You know, even like, and who's to say Will knew? Like, honestly, I don't know how much. And this is speculation. I don't know how much AEW wrestlers like have as far as say that goes in their shirts. Like, MJF came back and they gave us that dumbass. His new shirt is
Wolf of Wall Street.
Which that movie came out in 2012. They
did update it. They did give him a new shirt. Too.
Yeah, it's just
the new shirt doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Because it's in the graphic I'm looking at. But it's just, yeah, man. I don't know. They need some new art, like, because it was Matt or Nick Jackson's wife at first, and then she left. But whoever took over isn't better either. So I don't know. They need someone to choose different. Like, they need someone to make.
We need to know. We need like a council of yeses and nos of like, you know, these shirt ideas or concepts.
And the talent should have a say if they don't already. I'm hoping they do, because to me, again, that MJF shirt, it was just super basic, and he's just like, I'm the wolf of this place.
Yeah, and it came out really quick. Like, there wouldn't be a need to do a version 2 if talent were like approving like concepts. So I don't know. It seems a little interesting that like you went with that. It seems a little interesting that you would put that on Will Ospreay, and I wouldn't put it on Will Ospreay because he is like a white man from London that may not tie to what's going on in America. I don't fucking know.
I mean, there's racism everywhere. It's just not a good look.
It is, but the context for that hits a little bit harder for Black Americans for sure. But there should have been somebody like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Anywho, there is another line here. He says, "If I use that," he said, "What happens if you the kill shot you use, the centimeter is off, and if I use that Tiger Driver and you won't walk out, so he's hinting at using the Tiger Driver. I don't think he uses it on Swerve. I think he's just gearing us up to maybe All In.
Yeah, he's treating the Tiger Driver kind of like the Spirit Bomb, which I'm fine with.
Pretty much.
And honestly, since he's shown up to this company, it's to me the best story that they've been telling about Will, and it's the fact that he doesn't like using the move. I mean, he'll use the move he really needs to, but after what he did to Daniel, which no follow up with, he doesn't want to use the move. And Callis, who's the heel manager, even though Will's his face, he wants him to use the move, but he's not going to use the move. But he's still winning, so that means he's only going to use this move when he feels like it's absolutely fucking necessary. But he'll feel guilty or have grief about it because he's afraid he'll hurt his opponent. It's good.
Yep.
It's honestly some of the best storytelling in this entire company right now, and that's not me trying to be facetious or throw shots. Yeah, so I like that aspect. I really do.
Yeah, definitely a must-see promo. Definitely has me very interested in seeing how like this all goes down at Forbidden Door. There's an 8-man tag with Zack Sabre. It's really cool to see Zack Sabre. I've never watched any of his matches. I've never seen him before, but I've heard of him and seen clips. So it's definitely good to get a glimpse of him inside AEW. Wasn't a lot that was going on with him though, but definitely cool to rev up, the engine with him. I believe he is going against Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door. I think that's what they're angling at, if I'm not mistaken. We get a tag team eliminator match with the Young Bucks and the Acclaimed. The highlight of this match is Okada cutting.
I mean, that's a highlight for me. Only because, and we talked about absurd, I just want to get that out of the way. Only because I feel like out of the 5 years, I can't recall a challenger winning an eliminator. I'm sure there sure there has been one, but I can't recall.
There has.
Okay, so that means so at least as in 2024, this is the first challenger to win an eliminator to my knowledge.
Yeah.
So good shit. Because I mean, I still think the matches are pointless. I like the name. I just think the concept is kind of pointless. But I am happy that the Acclaimed won. They're definitely not going to win the titles, but I feel like this is setting up for Blood and Guts. So that's the whole reason why they're doing it. So.
A Blood and Guts match with the Acclaim would be kind of cool. Personally, right now, like I said, the Acclaim is just they're hitting levels of like. I like y'all, but I don't want to dislike y'all. I need y'all to like kind of simmer out and let somebody else come here. But honestly, with the way
they already simmered, bro.
With the way the tag team, yeah, that's what I'm saying. With the way their tag team division is looking right now, they haven't booked anybody to be behind the Acclaimed. Because FTR was first. FTR is out right now. Acclaimed is next up. But who's behind the Acclaimed? I think they kind of like we have House of Black right now. I think Brody's out.
House of Black doesn't win shit.
Or Buddy's out.
If I had to guess, like the official third would be Bang Bang Gang.
And right now,
which is a foursome.
They still, they're not.
They're the trios tagger right now.
They're still trios? Yeah, they're still trios. Yeah,
they're still trios. But yeah, and there's 4 people.
So they're still trios.
But I'm saying as far as star power and like actual rankings, like there's not. They
need to build another tag team.
Yeah, I mean they need to build a couple more. Because like when this company first started, like they were emphasizing like how good the tag team
wrestling.
Because WWE Vince in particular
did not do tag team wrestling.
No, he didn't. He didn't like it. He didn't really fuck with it. And I mean we talked about it off air, but like you got just 2 light skin ass niggas.
Top Flight.
You got Top Flight. I mean, granted, one of them is always injured, but both of them have been healthy relatively recently. You got Death Triangle, or at least Ray and Penta,
Lucha Bros.
And sometimes, a lot of the times, one of them is always injured. I think Penta's injured right now, so that's all that's unfortunate. You got the Private Party, which one of them was injured for the longest time, but I just watched.
Came back.
Yeah, I just watched some of. What show comes on last night? Was Rampage or Collision? In
Rampage.
I think they won, But it's like I remember the very first episode of AEW, and like they were pushed, like they made it seem like Private Party was going to be like it. They beat the Young Bucks on the first fucking episode of AEW. You know,
Yep.
like, and granted, again, there has been injuries, but like there was a time when they had them paired up with Matt Hardy and all this shit, and it's like you got like the AEW show that we went to a year ago, 2 years ago. The Acclaimed was the most over tag team arguably in every promotion. And then like 3 weeks after that, they gave the belts to FTR and they just like sent them to the Shadow Realm, and now they're like starting to get hot again. But all of us are kind of overcaster. I mean, it's weird. They just need to anyway, I'm saying all this to say they need to revamp re-energize the tag team division. So
I agree. There's rumors with the whole like grizzled young vets and them looking at
which they would be a crazy addition. And apparently they signed Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, there you go. Motor City Machine Guns.
They just haven't used them yet, I guess, which is weird.
So like they got ideas of people they want to use. I'm still pushing for the Workhorsemen. I know one of them just came back, but they're fucking great too. Also with like Sean Dean in the infantry, solid. But yeah, they got some options. Definitely get them on TV. Bring them up. Like I said, the best part of this match was Okada cutting the Acclaim segment from the jump. Okada, like I said, as heel, he's killing it, bro. Like the dude is fucking funny. Like he's really fucking funny. We get a contract signing between Toni Storm and Mina. Mariah opens up the segment saying how hard it is going to see both of her favorites wrestle, and Mina's not hearing none of that shit. She's like, "Fuck that shit, Mariah, shut the fuck up. I gotta let this girl know how I feel." Basically went at Tony and said that in Stardom you were a legend. We respect you. AEW became a star, but like as a champion, you soft. You ain't cut it. You're not ready for this graps yet.
Which is wild because she's literally beaten everybody, but at the same time she hasn't beaten Mina, so it doesn't mean what she's saying is a lie. It's just. But if I was Tony,
and with this, what?
I beat every bitch here twice already.
This segment ends with something really interesting, as the promo is about to end. She says, "After this, Mariah, you're gonna have to choose. Like, it's official. You got to choose. After this, you got to choose between me or Tony." And as soon as we look at or the camera pans to Mariah, we get a interference from the Outcast. So Saraya and Harley interrupt the segment, and all hell breaks loose. There's a table spot where Tony let me reverse back. Tony gets jumped by the Outcast, and they add a member. Looks like Anna Jay has joined the Outcast, which also makes sense because Anna Jay was also working with Mina for weeks. So it makes sense why she's also being inside of this angle. I would assume that we probably get some kind of like tag team between Mina and Mariah at some point. I doubt we see a 6-man tag, but you could also do that as well. Tony goes to do a hip drop into the table against Saraya. Saraya moves out the way. Tony blasts through the table. And that's pretty much the segment. With this, I will say Saraya's definitely getting more active. She's definitely involved in the segments now.
I think it's because Wembley's coming up. And also, her match got cut the other week, and she said some stuff on Twitter. It wasn't like super salacious or anything, but she didn't seem happy that her match was cut. So maybe Tony's also like throwing, trying to keep Tony isn't Khan. Maybe TK's trying to keep Saraya happy a little bit.
It makes sense. You pay her a lot of money. She is healthy. She is capable of wrestling. Like, get her on fucking TV. Like, she knows the hell she's doing.
Ish.
Good God. We get a strong video package for Pac and Claudio about the Owen Hart tournament. We find out who the challengers are. In the men's division, It looks like it was Pac versus Claudio, Brian versus Shingo, which will happen at Forbidden Door, Ray Phoenix versus Jay White, and then Jeff Jarrett versus a wild card. So there's a mystery challenger for the Owen Hart Cup against Jeff Jarrett. I would assume that probably happens next week. Out of this, perhaps. What are you? Where are you going?
The surprise person is Adam Page, and Adam Page wins, and then we get Adam Page and Swerve again.
3?
Yeah.
Or like 4 or whatever.
Yeah. Or Daniel Bryan wins, and we get Bryan and Swerve for the Washingtonian match. But, I don't know.
I would love to see Jay White versus, I'm assuming Swerve at Wembley, but it could also be Ospreay at Wembley. If we get Jay White versus Ospreay at Wembley, that'd be good too. With that, we also get the women's side where it's Willow versus Serena Deeb, Nyla versus Stat, Deanna versus Sheeta, Mariah May versus Saraya. With the women's side, I would assume that Willow's not going. Willow won it already, I believe.
Yeah, I think she won.
I'm gonna shoot Sheeta. I'm gonna go Sheeta.
I would like to go Sheeta, but because she's queen transitional. But if I had to choose, okay, if we're doing again, because this is about Wembley, I wouldn't be surprised if Saraya won. But I don't want to see Saraya and Tony. If we're talking about like a banger match, Saraya and Tony and Statlander would be a good match.
I just don't see Willow allowing Stat to get to that point.
Yeah. Well, that's if Willow enter. Yeah. I don't know.
And then we already seen Deanna versus Tony.
Yeah, but we also already seen Tony and Sheeta because that's how Tony.
It's true. That's where she got. That's how she got
the title. So
you're right.
I mean, we also already saw Tony and fucking Saraya. I mean, that was without a title, I think. But I mean, yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they put it on Saraya again or just give her the Wembley match again. But out of all the names you said, the two that sparked me the most as the potential winners is Saraya or Statlander.
You are right. She has ran through these women before. Tony's making her rounds, yo. She's lapping. She's double lapping right now.
Pretty much. I mean, shit. Wait, do they have a mystery person?
Nah.
Okay, I was gonna say
that was my thing too.
Maybe finally comes back, or
because right now we don't have any contract status for Nat, and I was like, oh damn, maybe mystery person might be Nat, but with this closing out, I think we probably will see Nat back in the E, which is fine. I have nothing against that. But would have been dope to see her participate in the Owen Hart Cup. From here, we get the Nyla versus Stat match. It was good to see Nyla back on TV. I haven't seen her on TV in a while.
Yeah, she's in the ROH Shadow Realm.
It was good to see Nyla back. The match is good. There was a dope tombstone off the fucking turnbuckle. That was the finish of the match, and I thought that was fucking clean.
As a tombstone should be. Also, random, fuck Val Venus and anyone who loves him. Carry on.
Like that. Yeah. From there, we get Stat advancing. Stat beats Nat. Or not, she doesn't beat Nat. She beats Nyla. So she advances to the next round, but after that, we get a promo from Willow talking about how I'm going to get past Deeb, or how she's going to get past Deeb. And she expects to see Stat in the second round. What if Stat sabotages Willow first round and Deeb goes for it? Is there any chance that Deeb can win the Owen Hart Cup?
Yeah, but I mean, she just lost to Tony 2 weeks ago.
It's true. God damn.
That was Dynasty, I think, right? Yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, bro. She's ran through everybody here. It would have to be.
She's ran through every.
Unless it's Mariah.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to do that, I mean, if that's the angle that they want to do now, and like we finally get the teacher versus the people, like
Ooh.
yeah, shit,
That might be it.
Yeah, because I completely forgot Mariah. You said Mariah was in there. Yeah, honestly, that's probably the move. It's probably the move.
Yeah. Danny G has a squash match between or has a squash match, but after the squash match, there's interference from like Gates of Agony and Brian Cage. They cause a bunch of chaos. Hechicero's also out there, which makes MJF jump out to save Danny Garcia. But then out of nowhere, coming to save MJF is Will Ospreay, which makes zero sense to me.
Zero sense.
Because I don't know, why are you here? You just had a promo early with the world champion. Why are you interfering with this?
It was literally just to do the face-off, which they could have done.
Yep.
They could have done backstage.
So the face-off seems like, you're going to get an MJF versus Will Ospreay match. And I guess they kind of wanted to test out the heat to see how people react to it. And of course, everybody reacted like, excited for the shit. Like everybody wants to see that. But it's like, how do we get here? What's the story to get Will Ospreay into MJF?
Will either one of them winning the title or one of them,
And does that happen at All In?
Nah, man. Nah, man. Logically, it should not, but it's TK booking.
He's a quick booker.
Yeah, he likes to get the dream matches out right, just right away off the cuff. And yeah, but okay. So let's say Will loses to Swerve.
Okay.
And then we somehow get Will and MJF for All Out or All In or whatever the fuck, whichever one it is. Who's losing that match?
Fuck.
They're
fuck if I know.
Yeah, they're both out. They're probably equally over. MJF is the OG homegrown star there, the biggest star they have technically, if you're not counting Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. And I'd put like Moxley at 5, I guess. And I wouldn't do that match at all. And anytime soon.
I'm thinking about interference. But there's no interference to be had, especially if they squash the Undisputed Kingdom story.
Yeah.
Let's say hypothetically, if Cole is ready to go by All In, like, I wouldn't reignite that.
No, they killed it for a reason.
Yeah.
And they should keep it dead. That's not even me trying to be funny.
No, it's just being real.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you would book that. I don't know who loses. AEW does do draws, but to do a draw at a pay-per-view would be very interesting.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, but you don't nah, man. Yeah, no, you don't do. Yeah, no. Well, I don't want to overthink it, but it's because it's not up for us to decide. But man, to me, the segment didn't make any sense. It was literally just to garner a reaction.
Absolutely.
Which is fine, but they could have done it in a way that made more sense, such as when we first got the Logan Paul LA Knight interaction, where it's like Logan leaving the office and him running to LA,
something backstage.
It could have been something more, more natural instead of because again, why is Will helping? I mean, besides him being a babyface, and babyfaces usually save other babyfaces, I guess, like in the wrestling world and wrestling logic, but it wasn't needed. You're just putting a hat on a hat or adding an extra layer for literally no reason. So I don't know. We'll see.
You're right. Main event is Pac versus Claudio. The backstory here is I believe Pac got injured against Claudio, so they're running it back one more time. This time it's for it's the first round for the Owen Hart Cup, as I mentioned before or mentioned earlier. Overall, match was good. They end up doing a lot of bangers outside. There was a dope pop-up uppercut. That's Claudio's thing. He's a fucking freak of nature. Pac has a spinning DDT off the apron that was really fucking fly. I didn't know fucking Claudio has a power bomb called the Ricola bomb, and the whole crowd does the Ricola chant or the fucking cough drop chant. And I thought that was kind of dope. I did not know that was a thing until fucking this Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, it's in the video game. It used to be one of the moves out on my created character, but yeah, no, I didn't know there was a chant for it.
Yeah, the chant is Ricola. I was like, why are they doing that? And I was like, oh shit.
I wonder if that's trademark. I wonder if that's allowed.
It definitely is.
Okay.
The match finish is very interesting to where like it begins with a series of submissions by Claudio. He ends up doing the sharpshooter into a crossface. Pac gets out and does a couple reversals, and then it just turns into like this series of like 2 count pins, which I've never seen before, and they're all roll-ups, and you know how I feel about roll-ups. I don't like them. But yeah, it's a series of roll-ups, just anticipating the 3 count, maybe like 3 or 4 of them, and then on the last one, Pac hooks the shoulders and gets the 3 count. Overall ending to the match, did not like it. That's just me, and that's just how I feel about fucking roll-ups and shit like that. The series of the roll-ups was very interesting. I've never seen that done before, but overall, Pac wins. Pac is moving on in the Owen Hart Cup. How do we feel about a possible Pac versus, Swerve?
I mean, he's also from the UK. That would I'd be fine with it. I'd be fine with it.
I think Pac and Swerve would have a fucking banger. They would fucking tear each other's fucking neck off.
Yeah, it would be.
And they have similar styles too.
Yeah. They do. I think it would definitely be a good match.
Absolutely. I don't think I've seen a bad match from Pac yet. Swerve has been doing better in the ring and have pretty solid fucking matches. But yeah, he moves on next round. I don't know who he faces next out of that. I think it might be between Bryan and Shingo. So you might end up getting Bryan versus Pac, which would also be a fucking banger. But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite. I enjoyed the show. Wait, what?
Oh, never mind. Nope, never mind. I was going to ask them. Never mind. For a second, I thought Will was in the tournament too, and I was like, no, he's not. He's already fighting Swerve. So, because I was like, oh my god, are they going to give us Will and Bryan 2 in this tournament? But I caught myself. Anyway, let's get into SmackDown.
SmackDown, kick us off.
We get an opening, another cool opening. CM Punk comes out.
Chicago, baby.
Chicago, Chi-Town. There was a nice little bit where he's like, look at all the fans here. That was definitely a shot. But yeah, he comes out, he's talking. Heyman comes out, they hug. It was a real cool moment. And Heyman says he gives us some context and some stuff about like Roman and the current bloodline, which is really interesting. It's honestly, it's like, some people might not notice it, but it's further planting seeds for when Roman returns, and he's going to return as a babyface. Because like there was the week when he was talking to Kevin Owens, where he's like, Roman actually respected you. He didn't want you to win, blah blah blah, but he respects you. And in this episode, Heyman's like, Roman gave me his word that Punk. When he was talking to Solo later in the show, he's like, Roman said Punk was off limits based off of my relationship with him. You're doing things that are against the code, all this other stuff. So they're definitely, Heyman is just, he deserves an Emmy for his work on a weekly basis. But yeah,
he's having a phenomenal run right now. Like, man, he's playing the hell out of this.
I mean, ever since he got attached to the Bloodline. I mean, Paul Heyman's always been amazing, but his acting bag ever since he's been attached to the Bloodline since 2020 has been just phenomenal. But essentially Heyman does what he did with Kevin, and he's warning Punk. He's like, man, the radio said that this is your city. Solo heard that shit. Solo's upset. Now they're going to jump you. So will you please leave? Because I don't want to see you get hurt. And Punk is like, what? And eventually Bloodline comes out. Then Cody comes out of nowhere with 2 bats, which 2v3, but with 2 bats somehow equals the odds. It's wrestling math. Don't question it. And yeah, we get it gets set. That just sets up some shit for later. But yeah, Punk comes back. We get the best moment of that, I suppose, or I guess, is the hug. And you see Punk and Cody interacting, which is something that we didn't get to see in the short time that they were both in AEW together.
It's true.
And I mean, this is their like second or third time interacting since they've been in the E. But yeah, so we got to see 2 mega baby faces interact with each other, protect each other, and yeah, sets up shit for late in the show. So. But yeah, it was cool. And also, I don't remember if this was before or after this, but we get a small segment where Aldis says, based off of what happened on Monday with the Wyatt 6, he has beefed up security, which is foreshadowed to literally 2 things that happen later in the show. So, yeah. After that, yeah. So, do you have anything else with the Bloodline segment?
No, I thought it was really dope. Yeah, just gonna piggyback everything that you already said. The acting is from Paul is fucking crazy right now. Actually, Solo didn't have a bad back spot either. Like Solo is talking more. I feel like it's every other week with me and Solo. Like 1 week he's really good, the next week he's really fucking bad, and it's like I'm over the Bloodline. I'm still kind of like eh. But I will say Solo does and has been improving, or at least he improved this week. So I have no bad, negative, anything to say about Solo this week. Shout out to Solo. He did a good job.
So after that, we get the women's triple threat qualifier, which we get Bianca, Michin, and Chelsea Green. Solid match. There was a cool spot with the suplex from the top of the rope. There was another
that suplex was dope.
Yeah, that suplex was dope. There was a cool spot where Michin gives Chelsea the Styles Clash.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was dope. But yeah, the match ends with Bianca hitting the KOD on Michin, Chelsea Green launching Bianca out the ring and stealing the win. And she got a crazy ass pop. And I don't remember if we said this while we were recording or not, but as of right now, I think she might be my pick to win Money in the Bank. Chelsea Green has been one of Triple H's best hires. You can say whatever you want about her in-ring work. It's not like it's not the best bag, but it's not the worst bag either. It's pretty kind of in the middle, but her character work is really superb. So,
yeah, I have no issue with this. I saw some people were a little upset about Bianca losing and her not being in Money in the Bank, but it's also about creating like opportunities for other people.
Yeah.
And this was definitely creating an opportunity for a superstar that you did not see winning this.
And Bianca doesn't need to be in Money in the Bank. She's one of those people she doesn't need to be in it. Like,
she doesn't.
She's a 3-time champion, longest reigning. It's either Raw or SmackDown. I don't remember which one. And one Elimination Chamber, one Royal Rumble. She doesn't need to be in Money in the Bank.
Nah, if we keep it a buck too, like Chelsea and Piper have been working just as hard as they've been working just as hard as everybody, but they've been working the same kind of rigorous schedule as like Judgment Day. Like they've been moving through these shows. And Chelsea has also been like the butt end of the joke of some of these segments. Like she's also helped get people over. So I have no issue with her being inside the pay-per-view for Money in the Bank. I have no issue with her winning because I think that you also need somebody to have the briefcase for a while. You need somebody to carry it and like threaten that they're going to use it, but they're not going to use it. You also need somebody who's going to like use it at the wrong time. And I could see Chelsea doing both of those angles to where maybe she pops it a little too early and fucking wastes the shot. Maybe Chelsea holds it as, long as she can because she just wants the spotlight and like she's always going to be relevant because she has the briefcase and whatnot. I do think that's probably the play with the women's side. I don't see anybody on the men's side holding it as long as Priest did. But on the women's side, I can definitely see somebody, hold it for a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. At least that's how I look.
Yeah, no, and I'm fine with that. Because as far as the women's side goes, there was the fucking trend where they cashed in the same night. Like Carmella.
I think Bliss did it too.
Yeah, Bliss. Carmella held it the long. Carmella and Io, I think, held the case the longest. But yeah, Liv cashed in the same night. Bayley cashed in the same night. Alexa cashed in the same night. And then there was Carmella, and then Io. Was there another? Am I missing, or has there only been 5 women in the bank? Yeah, that sounds kind of accurate. Has there only been 5 women in the money?
That would be interesting.
Yeah, the first one was, I
women.
think, like in 15. Am I missing somebody? Huh.
I'll find out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm fine with people holding on to the case. I don't like cash, like the instant. Oh, I won the case and I'm cashing on the same. Like sometimes it's cool, but it got played. It got played out really quickly, especially on the women's side. So I'm fine with someone cashing in. And then again, her character work is great. So yeah, I can see exactly all the same storylines you're saying, like where she tries to cash in, doesn't work out. She'll have great facial expressions, great comedic timing. It'll be fine. As of right now, she's my pick. I need to see the whole list, but I think she would be like, just based on what we talked about last week or the week before, whatever it was, when it's like, we should give the cases to mid carders who we want to try to elevate to the top card and give them a chance. I think she's perfect. Her and honestly, like, assuming Chad wins on Monday, her and Chad would be my picks. But that's assuming Chad's even in this thing, because based off our previous conversation, he might be beefing with 5 other spooky niggas. So we'll see. But I think Chelsea, this win was good, and she got a good ass pop. It was cool, and it was unpredicted, and it didn't make Bianca look weak. She's not the one that got pinned. She just got slightly outsmarted. So that's what happens in triple threats.
6 winners for the women's.
6.
Nikki Ash.
Nikki,
almost a superhero.
And I think she was same night too. If not like it was either the same night or the same month. But yeah, besides that, Io and fucking Carmella actually held it for multiple months.
She did it like a few weeks after on Raw.
Okay, yeah. See, yeah. Other than that, the other 3 or 4 did it. Yeah, no, the other 3 did it same night, which is just, it's like, eh.
Yeah, it looks like, Bliss was Money in the Bank, Bailey was Money in the Bank, and Liv was also Money in the Bank. So yeah, you're right.
All did it same night. So yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I guess based off this trend, I would probably assume that whoever wins it will be holding it for a minute.
Hopefully,
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
at least on the women's side, it's going to build up another star.
Yep. But yeah, solid match. Boo. So after that, we get a quick backstage segment. It's because Grayson Waller, he's going to be in the triple threat later. He's talking to DIY. It's about Theory. That doesn't really matter, because what matters is, as they're talking, they hear a bunch of sounds on the garage door that they're standing next to. And the first assumption that everyone, including the audience, is like, oh, it's Wyatt 6 type shit. But the garage opens and you see a bloody CM Punk laying down with a very satisfied but still pissed off Drew McIntyre, who beat the goddamn dog shit out of CM Punk. And then we get crazy ass one-shot camera again, which Drew gets them a lot in particular. Drew and Jay get, I feel like, the most. But he carries his body from the attack scene all the way to the entrance ramp. He steals his bracelet that has his wife and dog's name on it, I believe. And then he gets kicked out. But we get blood again. I
love everything about this segment.
Yeah, it was really good. It was very simplistic but very effective, I feel like, because there was zero talking. It was probably like a 3-5 minute angle, but the visuals, the demeanor, the body language, it resonated on all levels. And again, this feud, even though we still haven't got a match yet, somehow it keeps on building and building, and it hasn't gotten dull yet, at least to me. To me, every week or every encounter they've just been upping the ante a little bit. But we're going to finally get this match, it seems like. So
we're getting. It's not going to be Money in the Bank. It's going to be what we assume, which is probably SummerSlam. Like I said, I won't say like dull. I will say very fucking stretched out. Like this is definitely stretched out, and not to, like we talked about it before, not seeing any talent's fault. Injuries have been a thing. I will say I do like Drew getting this angle. One, it protects Drew and puts him in a different bag to where now Drew's psychotic. Now you done pushed this man to the point of no return. He doesn't care about nothing. He was out here shoving Pierce, or Aldis. This man is stealing bracelets. He also did it in your hometown. So I think this kind of is like the eye for eye thing. Like you fuck me over in my hometown. I'm going to fuck you over in your hometown. Let's just call it even at that point.
Bro, my dumbass didn't even fucking realize that. And I can't tell you how many times I've written, oh, they're in Chicago. They're in Chicago. It's a sold out show in Chicago. I don't know why that part never... I'm sorry to interrupt. Jesus Christ. That light bulb just never... I was like, oh, it's a hometown revenge. It's not just regular revenge. It's hometown for hometown revenge. Duh.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
And it's also just a callback because Paul Heyman, like earlier, said that Punk was going to get jumped.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, jumped in Chicago? Like, nah, no way.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, Drew put them hands on him.
And it's also,
I like it.
Again, a callback to the what I said. All this is like, we're beefing up security. No Wyatt shit.
Yeah.
But, hey, you just...
let Drew in.
Yeah, 2 stars from the opposite show, the opposing show.
Fuck up, yo. Look at him.
Man.
Got a little bit of Pierce on his jacket. Get it together, all this. I like it. And I think that if we go into this match at SummerSlam, I would prefer Punk to take the L in this match. I think it just would make shit so much better. But at the same time, Punk will be coming back. I don't know. It also just depends on how the match is like orchestrated and whatnot. We're getting a little too ahead of ourselves here, or at least I am, because predictions won't happen for another month. But
yeah,
I would like to see Drew get that way.
Based off of right now, I would say Punk should win the first match just to make Drew more psychotic, which would make the second match and possibly third match even up the ante even more. But again, yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. But if I had to choose right now, I think Punk should win the first match, assuming they go 2 out of 3 or best of 3 or just 2 matches. Because then Drew could even be even more upset. Makes him go even more crazy. And then the next match will be that fan booked Hell in a Cell or some shit.
Could you imagine? That would be funny. Yeah, we get the triple threat between Randy, Tama, and Carmelo. This one is another qualifier for the Money in Bank match or Money in the Bank. Honestly, you want my honest thoughts when I first saw this shit? I was like, all right, Melo's taking the pin. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not even gonna think about it anymore. He's just gonna take the L on here. Had I thought and actually sat there and broke this down, I could have seen this play out exactly how it played out. But overall, match was good. We did get some bloodline activities here.
Yeah. There's multiple interferences throughout the entire show. But yeah, Tonga Loa comes out, which Kevin Owens comes out to help. But which sets up Carmelo to win. I will say, because again, similar to the Chelsea match, similar to the Andrade one that we'll talk about in a second. On paper or just visual wise, most people would say, "Yo, no, Carmelo's not winning this shit." And based off of MVP's comments that we talked about earlier, I saw some people on Twitter see, they even gave Carmelo the jobber entrance. He didn't get his actual entrance because he came back from commercial. He's already in the ring. But then no one talked about him actually winning and pinning Randy Orton. Randy Orton, of all people. So I don't even know why I brought all this up. But the point is y'all, again, we just have to, as fans, just let shit play out sometimes. It's fine to have a favorite. It's fine to have opinions. But that doesn't mean they need to be stated and put online all the time. And
that's the thing about the internet is that people gonna say whatever the fuck they want to say, right or wrong.
Yeah, because there's no repercussion. Worst thing that happens is you get canceled. But then if you get canceled, you could grift to the right side and you'll get money for it. It literally just happened the other week.
Create another account.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, Carmelo wins and he pins Randy Orton. This is a good ass look, and we get.
It is. It's also another callback because when he got his got dog walked by Randy a couple weeks ago. He was like, God damn, the boy went through the ringer. And he learned from that mistake. And this one was like, I'm going to quickly roll him up because I can't go toe-to-toe with him. So I'm going to like make sure I steal this win. I take advantage of this opportunity and get this win, which is very in nature with the Carmelo like Hayes like story and character right now is that like, I'm going to get it by any means.
Yeah. And what I like about Carmelo's character currently, and I'll keep this brief, is that he's the cocky heel, but he's not like, and sometimes, like, I mean, he's cocky, he's cautious, but he's not a chicken shit heel. Like, there was several times in that match where he's like, fuck all the Tama Tonga rumors. He went straight after him. He's like, you pushing me?
Right.
Fuck you. You stop my, like, so it's like, yeah, he's not a chicken shit heel. He's just, super cocky and like, oh, I'm better than everybody. I was the third draft. Like, but like, no, the fact that he went toe to toe with Tonga on multiple occasions and like didn't back down, didn't act scared, didn't act like a punk or anything. Like, to me, they're pushing him fine. But yeah, he gets the win. It's good shit. It didn't make either Randy or Tama look weak because I mean, Randy was based off the distraction and a schoolboy. Whatever. And also, he's putting over young talent. He's doing shit that Edge should be doing.
Don't we wish? Yeah, if like I said, if I sat back and thought about it a little bit more, this makes perfect sense. Because they were beefing with the Bloodline beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Like there was no way that either one of them between Tama and Randy were going to have a clean win. And the only person in this match that has no like storyline tied to them right now was Carmelo Hayes. So definitely, if I thought about it, it makes a lot of sense, and I'm okay with it. Carmelo Money in the Bank. It's solid.
It's a new star, and who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
If Melo gets Money in the Bank,
they could do it. They could do it.
You want to see the briefcase with the HIM on it?
Him in the bank.
Him in the bank.
No.
Him Uso. Like it might.
But then we get the third. We'll get into it. So after that, we get a quick promo. LA Knight calls out Logan Paul, but Santos comes out, which they pretty much allude to that there's gonna be a triple threat next week for a qualifier. It'll be Santos, LA, and Logan. So based off of pretty much what you just said with the Carmelo and the Carmelo stuff, it might be safe to assume, and this could be a swerve, but it might be safe to assume that Santos might win that because because Logan and LA. It seems like that's the trajectory for SummerSlam. So
then again, Logan's also interfered in matches that he had no business interfering in.
Yeah,
shout out to Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, no, but I mean, he's in that triple threat. Next week is going to be Logan, LA Knight, and Santos to see who goes to the Money in the Bank.
Right. And my bad, was more so in the aspect of like if LA Knight won, I wouldn't put it past Logan to also interfere in a match that he had no business being in.
Oh no, absolutely. If LA did win, I could easily see that happening. Easily. So, which that would be the second time Logan interfered because Logan interfering in Elimination Chamber is what fucked up LA also. It fucked up LA and Randy, I think, right? Or did or was it just Randy? Actually, I don't remember.
AJ? I know he went in and he did fuck up Randy because he went back in, but that was the second time.
Yeah, he punched Logan. I think he fucked over LA and Randy. I don't remember.
But, yeah, he fucked over two people that night.
Okay, then it was LA and Randy. It was for sure Randy because he punched Randy and that set up for the Mania shit. So, but yeah. Anyway, cool shit. Just a quick promo. But after that, we get the men's triple threat, which is Grayson Waller, Andrade, and Kevin Owens. Which again, we get more interference. Before the match even starts, Kevin Owens gets jumped by Bloodline. Randy Orton comes out for the save. Kevin Owens still wants to fight. So, the match gets started. Pretty fire match. Only a couple spots I wrote down. But there was a Andrade does a sunset flip to Waller on the outside. That was fucking heat.
The sun flip, that shit was fucking tight.
There was another top rope suplex by KO, followed by a swanton that he did, which was a really nice close 2 count. And then the ending spot, which was the end of the match. KO was outside. Andrade was in the ring because Andrade just took a stunner from KO. But yeah, Grayson Waller not eliminates, but he neutralizes KO. He goes for his finisher, which is the rolling stunner. So he's outside of the ring. He rolls into the ring, tries to go for the stunner, but Andrade reverses that into his finisher, the messenger. Andrade advances. So the first 3 men is going to be Andrade, or if we do it in order, Jay, Uso, Carmelo, and Andrade, which those 3 are really great fucking choices. And
yeah,
those
are solid choices for sure.
And I would hear an argument for either 3 holding the Jay needs it the least because he's over as all fuck. But I would hear an argument for all 3. Is what I'm saying. It's like so far they're really good choices. That really good. Yeah. So
yeah, I think that of course we have to see the other 3. But as of right now, we have 2 mid card people who could definitely use the boost. Like if Andrade or Carmelo wins, I'm okay with either one because that's going to create a new star, and that's always what I wanted, was to see somebody else be pushed up into that main event, picture.
Yeah, that's what I want too. But just gotta see the rest of the people they choose first.
From there, the main events: Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes, 1v1.
Man, not much of a match.
Technically, it's a Bloodline rules match.
Yeah, not much of a match. I feel like I literally went to use the bathroom and get the room set up for bed, and then all of a sudden it was near the end, which I saw the end. I knew how this match was going to end, but I don't. Was it even a match? I literally left the room for a hot second, and then so I don't know what happens, but eventually the 3 baby faces, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes, has Solo Sikoa in a corner, seemingly
match come.
Oh, go for it.
The Tongans come in and they are trying to even the odds or whatever. They get chased out by Randy and KO, which then sets up this beautiful picture of Solo in the corner. Hey, crying out don't hurt me. I'm sorry. XYZ. And we get another one. And I'll let you take it. I'm gonna hear your thoughts from what you've seen from this.
Finally, because he's been signed for a while, and everyone was like, when is he going to show up? Oh, we finally get the debut. Second debut this week, but another long-anticipated debut. We get the Samoan werewolf. We get Jacob Fatu, and he comes out, and he
maniac.
He beats the shit out of all 3 of some of the top baby faces. He super kicks the shit out of Randy.
Yep.
I think he super kicked Cody too. KO super kicks him. He just eats it. Throws him out of the ring. Samoan drops him on the fucking stairs.
That shit was hard too.
Hard as fuck.
That shit was dope.
I don't want to call it a spear, but yeah, essentially tackles Randy Orton through the barricade, eliminates him. Cody tries to have a quick comeback, but that gets shut down real quickly because he fucking Uranagi's him on the side of the ring. Then he puts him on the table, and he does a splash from the ring to the announcer table onto Cody. And Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, the people that the internet has been clamoring for a while, even before he was signed. I've heard so many things about him. There's a community that will die on the hill that's saying he's better than Roman. I don't know that yet, but he definitely
that's a high hill.
From all the stuff I've seen, he looks good. Clearly, he's in better shape than what he was before he signed.
That's what I noticed too. He leaned the fuck up.
Yeah, he leaned the fuck up. And now he's here, and I'm already seeing Because there was the thing that we talked about a couple weeks ago where it was like, oh, they're waiting to debut him because they don't want him to overshine Solo. And then last night happens, and then people are like, yep, he already overshined Solo. Solo's a fraud, blah blah blah. And it's like, if you watch the story, that's kind of what they're telling. Solo is a little over his head. He wants to be the next Roman Reigns, but he doesn't know how Roman got to the stage that Roman was at when Roman became Roman. So he's trying to do everything by force, and he hired a bunch of people that Roman didn't want, that Roman and the Usos didn't even want because of how dangerous they are. So what's probably going to happen is eventually he's going to lose control because he can't control these convicts and criminals and fucking crazy ass motherfuckers. And yeah, eventually he's probably going to for the longest time we were fantasy booking. It's like, oh, it's going to be maybe them, Solo, Jacob, both of the Tongas versus the Usos and Roman, and then everyone's trying to figure out war games. But I mean, I know we'll see how things plan out. But Solo might go back to OG Bloodline. We will see.
So first off, Jacob Fatu, that show's fucking amazing. I'm not too familiar with this game. Similar to how I wasn't familiar with like Osprey, and like with Zack Sabre. Like I don't know too much. I know he's an MLW. I've seen promos. I've seen highlight reels. The funny thing about that is that if you see a highlight reel of a wrestler, just know that motherfucker is up like that. That means he has enough content on the indies that they put together a dope fucking reel of Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu's reel is fucking insane. I'm excited to see what he does. I love the name, the Samoan werewolf. I thought that was fucking dope. The shirt was fucking clean too.
Yeah, I love wolves. I bought that shirt instantly.
It will be interesting. I did see that people already the whole Solo thing. I don't agree with it. I just think people are like too stuck in the moment. Like let it chill out, bro. Let it simmer. So like I said, he's been growing. He's doing a good job. I do know from the clips I did see from Jacob Fatu on the mic, his mic skills are phenomenal, like way better than like Solo. But that's also with no writers, so he can say whatever he wants.
Right.
Another thing I will say away from Jacob Fatu is that there's one more still out there.
Well, there's one more already signed, and then there's two more that aren't signed.
Yeah. So I know there was one in New Japan who just finished up his contract. So there's still another Samoan possibly out there. Everybody's talking about Zilla too, and Zilla's way too green to be anywhere near this segment.
Solo was green as fuck too. He was only in NXT for 2.5 months before, or maybe a little longer, but he was still green as fuck. And when he got the Clash of the Castle call up, that's not saying that's. I mean, I'm not saying you're gonna repeat, but there.
But even Solo was wrestling a little bit before. Actually, a lot of it before that. He had the braids and everything. Solo was wrestling a good chunk of time. Zilla. Absolutely not. This is it. He just now started, I think, in books, promotion. I forgot what it was called.
I think it's been a year and a half, or at least a year. I think. What is it called? It's not MLW. It's
No, it's reality wrestling. Is it
something?
No, is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
But he's wrestling in books promotion. He was doing it with Jacob. I just think he's too green to be put in the segment right now. That doesn't mean that in 6 months, 7 months, shit can't fucking change. But yeah, this is not it.
And
I don't think Jacob Fatu is the last Samoan.
Yeah, and whoever just left New Japan, it's already rumored that he signed. I don't remember the name. I think he's in a Noah. Is he in a Noah or is he a Fatu? Or he might be a Tonga.
I think he's a Tonga.
But apparently he's already signed.
I saw that there's a name trademarked and everything already.
Yeah.
We in for the long ride here with the Bloodline. So y'all better just buckle up and just watch it all happen. The dope part is that in that documentary for Roman, I believe it was Jay that said without him, he's the one who's making the whole family eat. Roman literally got the whole family to eat.
Head of the table. That wasn't that wasn't just a moniker.
That's a bar, bro. All y'all eating because of me. and not saying in a way of like bragging, but like he's literally making sure everybody eat. Like that's fucking dope. That's what you would want.
Right. You put on for your family, and you know, since there's also a new regime, they're giving these people like, because you know, Jacob Tama, for sure. Those two have been some of the biggest names that are part of this bloodline, this family tree that weren't ever signed.
Yep.
And you know, Vince wanted them; he could have got them at any moment, really. So I feel like a part of it is, yeah, like it's also the new regime trusting a Roman, trusting a Heyman, trusting some of these other people. Like Karrion Kross tweeted, is like, man, I fought with him for 12 years. He's legit. Like there's other wrestlers who, you know, are signed. I'm like, yeah, we wrestled against him in Evolved or MLW or wherever the fuck they wrestled, and it's like, yeah, and you hear nothing but good stories. You hear he's, you know, scary, but you know, Braun is scary looking too. But when you any story you hear about Braun, he's the nicest guy you ever talk to. Same with Fatu, where it's like, yeah, he's been to jail, whatever the fuck, but like, and his character is scary, but you hear nothing but good ass things about him.
Nothing but good things.
And then after the debut, Fightful was like, yeah, he's been, obviously we all knew he was signed. He was signed for months, but yeah, apparently, yeah, he's been backstage a lot. Clearly, he you know, slimmed up, or not slim, got more cut, whatever. Apparently, he's already really fucking liked, you know, backstage. He's upstanding gentleman. Well, you know, so it's and you put on for your family.
It's gonna work out. I think it's gonna be great.
If he's even 5% of what the internet has been saying, then
that's what I'm saying.
He's gonna be a fucking megastar, because the way the internet has been talking about him is like it's the same way that I've seen the internet talk about it, like an Okada or Jay White or a lot of other, like some of these other people, where it's like, if he's even 5% of what the internet is saying, then yeah, he'll be world champion in like 2.5 years, if that. So
I like it. I like it a lot. This was a great week of wrestling, man. Like it was a lot of good stuff, a lot of dope storylines happening.
Oh, real quick, shout out to NXT, because NXT had a good show too. They got in the 7,000 range as far as ratings.
Joe Hendry,
Frankie Kazarian showed up. But yeah, Joe Hendry, which if I had to pick right now, Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace, they'll probably be the first two that WWE officially signs whenever they have the chance to. But yeah, NXT had a good week too, and yeah, it was just overall, it was a really good week of wrestling. TNA did good too, even though I don't watch TNA and I don't care about the Hardys. But yeah, both the Hardys are back. I mean, I like the Hardys. I like Jeff, but yeah, the Hardys are back. So that, you know, that's cool. Yeah, overall, good week of wrestling, man.
Yeah, it was dope. Definitely can't wait to see what happens next week. If I'm not mistaken, Double or Nothing is this Sunday.
Nigga, what?
Let me see. I believe it is. I thought it was like the 30th.
Double or Nothing. Forbidden Door.
Not Double or Nothing. My bad. Forbidden Door. My bad.
I thought that was next week.
I think Forbidden Door is the 30th of June.
Oh, we're in.
No, not Horizon. I don't. God damn.
It's a good game.
Forbidden Door is June 30th.
Word. Yeah, okay, so that's next week. Or this coming week.
Yeah.
It's Saturday right now.
This upcoming week. Yeah. So we have a regular week of potting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a regular potting, and the next week after that, we will talk about Forbidden Door. Yeah. So we'll be able to piggyback off of everything that happened in this episode, which I'm excited for. But with that being said, we will catch you guys in the next one. It has been real.
Episode 20. Yeah, you guys have a good one. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Pride Month. Men's mental health. Happy everything. Just be nice to people. Treat everyone with love, and the universe will give it back to you.
Like that. We out.
Too
have
sweet.
A good one.